So I held off.
It's danger. I mean, during TI times, our sleep schedule got a bit wonky.
Yeah.
And we did end up fixing it eventually. I basically just wrote off the entire weekend and just decided, okay, I'm gonna watch that and then we'll see what else happens. And so I stayed up really late and slept and woke up and stayed up as long as I could and watched it and slept and then stayed up really late and then went to bed kind of early and slept a long time. So on the Monday I woke up at an alright time and then it was actually kind of fine after that. I'm gonna write that tweet. Briony bun.
Briony bun. Maybe I should just change my name everywhere to Briony Bun, so then it would be the same on everything.
I think that is a good idea. I would like to be Rythian everywhere, but I can't. So it's I am Rythian on most other places. Sometimes I think, should I change away from Rythian to be I am Rythian? But that feels also wrong, you know?
Yeah.
Because then I actually have the right one someplace.
It was one of those things that I was like, okay, I can't get Briny K, I'll go for Briny Bun. And then on TikTok, I couldn't be Briny Bun because someone already had that, so now I'm Briny Buns. And I'm like, how many different variations am I going to have everywhere?
Yeah.
Like, I was thinking about signing up to that Mastodon thing, because I was like, if I can just get my name, even if I never use it, I'll just have the name if I do use it.
I think, yeah, like sometimes whenever something new comes out, I'm like, I should quickly jump on, grab the name Rythian, and then maybe I won't use it, maybe I won't, but at least I'll be Rythian just in case.
Yeah.
I don't really know how Mastodon works anyway. Like, it seems weird. There's like decentralized servers, so you can't just go to the server. You can't just log on to Mastodon and like post. You have to be on like a Mastodon server, and then on that server, you can then subscribe to other Mastodon accounts, so that shows up in your feed.
Yeah.
And then, but then if your server gets shut down, it's all gone. Like it just all goes away. So, I should tell people like, oh yeah, it's Wednesday. It's not Friday.
It's Wednesday, my dudes.
Yeah.
Ah! That helped. I saw a TikTok the other day that made me giggle. It was someone like discovering. It started off with like a paleontology brushing like an Xbox controller, and then they were like, "We've discovered a treasure trove of like historic importance," and it was just that they'd discovered all the old vines, and then they have this like big symposium, and it's just them watching old vines. Wow. I'm not doing it justice. It was really funny.
I mean,
I'm not just overtired.
I mean,
it was good.
I promise it was good. They were watching Vine together. Right, okay.
It was good.
I promise it was
Jack,
good.
you'd ever go on TikTok?
I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't really do the... Like, I would probably get one just to look through TikTok, but, like, I don't know what kind of content I would make. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can be, like, yet another, nerdy white guy talking about, TV shows or D&D or whatever, I guess. The world doesn't have enough of us, I think, so... I think there's a niche I can fill right there. Hello,
Great.
I am bearded, old, overweight white guy. I'm here to give you important information. You don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure I have anything unique that stands out.
You're you.
I am
you. Could just have one for
That's
clips.
true. No one else is me. That's true. Only me. I'm the only me. Thank you, Polanova.
Hello, Chef. Harry, it is the wrong day, but we've both got a Brandel on Friday.
Yeah. So this
Wait,
is gonna be
does my mute button not work? Did you hear all of that?
I heard hello, Chef, and I heard the wrong day, and we all have Brandon.
Oh! Okay, my mute button doesn't. It wasn't working. Either that or I'm too tired to hold it down
You
firmly
forgot.
enough.
Oh, I pressed it for a little bit, and then I'm so tired I couldn't press it.
I'm too weak.
Yeah.
I did think to have a nap.
Mhm.
But then I was like, I have a to-do list, and I've written the same to-do list 2 weeks in a row. So I need to actually start ticking stuff off of it. So I ticked something off of it. I wrote
Okay.
a letter to my pen pal.
Oh, what did you say?
So that's...
Did you just talk about what you've been doing?
Yeah, I just rambled. It was only like 3 pages long. We normally do longer ones, but I was like, I've not written with my hand for a while. So,
Where does
so
your
it's
pen pal
getting
live? Does
achy.
your pen pal live far away?
Not far away at all.
No? So
No,
it could be an IRL
she's-
pal, really.
Yeah, we have
Hi,
actually,
Yogscast. Thank you
we've
for the
met up more times in person than letters written this year.
Oh, okay.
But we both still like writing letters, so
Yeah.
we do. I do just talk to her on Discord sometimes. So I can just catch up with everything then. But that's how it fell apart. That because we were pen pals years ago.
Yeah.
And then I think we like added each other on MSN, and then we stopped writing. And then
it's
a few years
the
ago we were
writing
like,
stopped. Yeah.
yeah, we were
That's the
like, we
problem.
should write letters again. So we're
Yeah.
trying to get back into it.
That is the major problem. If you don't stick with it, you will immediately fall back on the easy stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love writing letters though. It feels very old school.
It is very old school, yeah. I haven't
I
written
like-
handwritten stuff in so long. Like I write my name or whatever, like assign my name. That's mostly it. I don't
All
even
the
really
autographs
like.
that you do.
I don't do a lot of those. I don't think I've ever written an autograph actually. Like I've never gone to like a con and like signed stuff or anything. No, that's true. I did write some. There was one point where when Game Tea was doing my merch, we did there was a poster, and like the first 100 or 200 or whatever posters were like signed, hand signed by me and like numbered as well.
Yeah.
So they sent them over to me, gave me and just like, all right, just sign all these, and I signed all those, and then sent them back away again, and then they were sold. So like you could, if you have one of those posters at home, which beautiful art. Oh man, AJ draws amazing art, and I was it's a super cool Rythian, Enderborn Rythian.
Yeah.
And yeah, so someone sitting there has like number 99 out of 100 or whatever. Was it 250? That feels like a lot, but that's the number that pops up in my head. Did I really sign 250 posters? Maybe that was too many.
I think Zoe and Theon did numbered postcards at YogCon. I seem to remember them
Yeah, so
handing
did
those out.
Nancy used to have his thing as well. Like he had like business cards kind of thing, where he'd like had a bunch of them he gave out. It was cool.
Yeah. I'm gonna say something, but someone was asking if I was wearing an Udi. No, it's my merch jumper. Plug. Hashtag plug. You can be this cozy too.
Briony.fourthwall.net.co.-jp/php.
Are you gonna get a fourth wall account?
Probably. I just need to get around
If
to
you
do it. Like I never
do-
get around to doing anything, right? Like I always
If you do,
like,
can
I
you
should do
use
it
my
one day.
affiliate code, not Kirsty's?
I mean, you're gonna have to. You guys are gonna have to fight for it to give me incentives to use your codes.
She's never done a lawyer accent for you.
True. But
She
we did
doesn't
play
play-
Cuphead a bit, so.
True.
And she plays Final Fantasy with me.
I play Dota with you.
Not as often as I would like.
Yeah.
I play more Final Fantasy with
Dota?
her than I play Dota with you.
Oh.
Because me and Kirsty, we raid twice every week. We're raiding tonight.
But I encourage you to get an early night, and you can't put a price on. Whereas she destroys your sleep cycle.
Maybe.
Bad influence.
Possibly true. When I lost inside. It was something about Dota.
Dota?
Have you been playing much? Like, or how high is your battle pass? It was pretty low last I checked.
I've not really been playing very much at all. I think the most I've played is those games we did last week.
Yeah. The battle pass has been a good excuse for us to play as a group. You know, like we go in circles.
I've not done any
different games
Diatide. I don't really know what Diatide is.
Diatide is
Diatide.
It's different some years, but this one is basically like a unique map. Roshan is in the middle; he's invulnerable, and so you walk around the map as a team, killing Greevils or punching them.
Oh, is it like the
candy.
Greevils greed thing?
Yeah, sort of. And you get candies, and then the goal is to you get taffy, and then you put the taffy in the enemy's well, and then at intervals, like Roshan comes out, he punches the Grievous a bit, and then he goes and destroys the well with the most taffy in it. And each team has 4 wells each. The ultimate goal is to like not have all your wells eliminated. I've only played one game because I don't really play Dota solo ever, and it's rare that everyone else mostly just wants to play normal. And if we only have a few people, they would usually rather turbo.
Yeah.
It was alright from the one I played. It's very team fight heavy. You know, you go around as a group and you fight. You want to get the kills so that you can break through. I've been recommended that I should write you a letter. We should be pen pals. I would not know what to say in a letter to Briony though. Like we talk so much. Like I feel like there's nothing I can say.
You have to keep a secret.
The first letter will probably just end up being just mushy, you know, like I love you so much, you're such a good friend, you're the best, I want to hug you all the time. That's just what the letter would be. And then after that, I wouldn't know what to say. I could just run out of everything.
People keep sending me this picture. I don't know if you will have seen it. It's a picture of a mama worm on a string feeding baby worms on string. And it makes me sad because there's one little baby that's not being fed, and I want to look after that baby. I'm tempted to make
to be fed. They are not real animals.
But they look so sad.
That's because they have been
like
made
a little
sad when they were designed.
I'm tempted to make a plushie of the little baby that's not being fed and then tell everyone I'll look after them. Wow.
Sure, I guess you could.
I'll show you the one I mean. Do 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 do. There you go. I'll put it up on my screen. This little baby. Look at them.
Oh, I see. You're upset about the little one.
I'm upset about the little. But look how sad he is, and they're all getting chunky, and he's just withering away.
Yeah. Well, there's only so many nipples. The worm only has 6 nipples. This is well known.
But I want baby to thrive.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll take them in. Poor little baby. Ansan, can I commission you to do an art of the baby thriving? And then that will become canon.
How would you know it's the baby? If it's
because
thriving?
there'd be like a little It's the little light blue one. As long as they're light
Maybe
blue, I know
you
that they're
put
good.
just an arrow and then text above says, "This is the little baby from the other picture," and then you would know.
This baby is now thriving. That will be my new Mastodon account. Thriving worm baby.
Thriving worm baby. Briony was taken. Thriving worm baby coming next. I've lost my sapphire. She's away.
Oh no!
I have to
I saw
accept
she was
squad
getting a
invites on my own.
flight.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I have to do my own squad invites and stuff. Thank you, Orosibo, for sending one.
Wait, how did you know it was Russell? It could have
Because
been me.
Orosibo came
It wasn't
into my
me.
chat.
Yeah, it was Russell.
Let's be honest. I don't think you know how the squad invites work. Because
I
you
used
never do them
to,
yourself. Yeah, you've
but
forgotten it now. It's like when a
yeah.
muscle atrophies, you know?
I am the whole muscle. I have atrophied.
All of you have atrophied, yeah. It's just you now.
Yeah.
So both of us are a little sleepy today.
We are sleepy.
Briony for a decent reason. Me just because I'm lazy and I'm used to waking up late. And I woke up today for recording. We recorded some Trouble in Terrorist Town.
Oh, okay. I was wondering if it was like a secret new thing recording or if it was a
No, it was just today. Last week we did some recording of stuff that will be in the Jangle.
Yeah.
So that was neat.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was fun. I like recording stuff. Tell you what I haven't recorded in ages, GTA. I haven't been invited to that for a while.
Yeah.
GTA is very up and downy. Like TTT is super samey. Like it's always sort of which sounds negative, but it isn't. Like it's just generally like you pop in, you mess around, you laugh, you make jokes. Today.
Right.
Okay, so right. I'm going to say something, and then people are going to have to remember this in months when this episode comes out, right? Today we recorded the Dingus episode. So if you remember,
Mark
if you
it on
ever
your
see
calendars.
Yeah. If you ever see a couple of months ago, you will see there be an episode that's about Dingus. Then this is when we recorded it.
Okay.
Something to remember.
The last thing I recorded still hasn't come out.
Yeah?
And that was ages ago. I've not been in a recording for months.
Yeah. What was it you recorded then? Was it Perfect Heist?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Lewis already leaked that more had been recorded.
Yeah.
so I'm safe to do so.
Yeah, I've been in some as well. We are very ahead, which is by intention, because it's rare there's any recordings during Jingle Jam and the other half of December. You know, the other half of December is usually when people finally take a break, you know? So that's why during that month you want to have a lot of stuff in the bank. And that's what we have. We have a lot of stuff in the bank.
Yeah, so we've been trying to get ahead with Comfort Zone for those weeks.
Yeah, that's why trying to get me back on. So I have to start remembering. I had a dream today and I forgot to record it. I forgot. Yeah. It was,
I had a dream.
Yeah, it was. I don't know if it was interesting, but I remember clearly when I woke up and like, that was a dream. But now I've forgotten what it was because I don't know if that's. I don't know how it is with you necessarily, but like, for me it fades so quickly. Like the actual dream. Like, if I don't literally wake up, reach for the phone, press record, it's gone in 2-3 minutes. It's immediately.
Yeah, as soon as I like start the day, it's gone.
Yeah.
Unless it's a one that particularly sticks with me. Like, all I remember about my dream last night is that someone was really annoying me. It was one of those like irritating dreams where something keeps on bugging you and you feel like you've always got something to do. And it's probably just because I was getting such bad sleep that I
Yeah.
was being woken up by poor Alex's coffin, bless him.
Yeah. I feel for the people who came from the Yogscast raid to my channel. They're like, oh, time for stream. Instead, they just get me and you sort of sleepily talking about whatever. Sorry,
We're
raiders.
just moaning
but
through
yeah.
3 hours.
We're just gonna be chatting for it. That's usually our Ace Attorney streams is usually we take half an hour to an hour before we start, and we just sort of talk about random stuff. This is like our opportunity to just have a chat. At one point, we had a vague idea we should make a podcast, but you know, we just do this instead for now. I do still kind of want to do it, but yeah, I don't know.
Feels like a New Year thing now, because this year's just gonna. As soon as it gets to November, I'm like, I'll do it next year.
Yeah, next year. Yeah.
And it is podcast week. This is true. This is very on brand.
So this is actually on brand, yeah. They just had.
This can
Wait,
just be
hold
our
on. Why
live
did they raid
episode.
me anyway? Oh, they raided me probably because they're waiting a little bit for the next stream to start.
Well,
Maybe
they
next stream
finished
starts-
Dota at 2, didn't they? Because they
Yeah.
do it 11 till 2.
Yeah.
On the
So
in-between
it's
weeks.
Daff and Joe who raided me then. Solid
Yeah.
lads. Solid. We should play some Dota on stream, you and me. We could play Dire Type.
Yeah.
Just like be like feeding taffy.
I was
to
umming and
the
ahhing
wolves.
about next time I do it, like, should I also stream it as well? But
Hmm.
I'm just.
Oh, you
don't
mean for
know.
the Daff and Joe stack?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I don't feel much of a need. Generally, like I find squad streaming is good when you do it with a smaller group of friends or whatever. But if I ever do it with the main channel, unless it's something like a tournament or whatever, and people specifically will want my point of view or anything, it just
Yeah.
doesn't feel worth it. I feel the vast majority of people will just go to the main channel anyway. So while I might get some of my regulars to come chill and everything, I just feel like I might as well just let it be on the main channel. And then
Yeah.
I mean, you can't even host anymore, can you? So I can't even host
No,
myself.
it's stinky.
Why did they remove host? I don't understand the point. Like
Oh, what was their
that was
reasoning?
nice. I don't even know.
Can't remember their reasoning, but it didn't make sense anyway.
Yeah, you don't have a host anymore. You now have something called a shout out, which I noticed because I've been alternating between OBS Studio and Streamlabs Desktop recently, for which
Yeah.
client to use, because I swapped to OBS Studio because like it seemed nicer and had a lot of nice stuff. But then I realized that I think since I was using Streamlabs.com for my donations, that didn't show up in the log on OBS Studio, which I guess makes sense in a way, right? Because OBS Studio just shows Twitch stuff. It's connected to the Twitch feed, right? So then I was,
Yeah.
was like, okay, well, I should go back to the Streamlabs, at least for now, until I rechange it up. I'm thinking like maybe going to, I don't know, Stream Elements or whatever for donations. Not that it matters much, but... And then I noticed that in this one, the shoutouts aren't listed. It only says raids. But in the OBS one, it now says shoutouts. So for example, I think I raided Kirsty yesterday, I think.
Yeah.
And then on the OBS Studio, it says Kirsty shout outed your stream or gave your stream a shout out for X viewers.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, is that like a new thing now? Like, were you like an inbuilt Twitch thing where you shout out a stream and then
Yeah,
that
so it
does
puts a
something?
follow button at the top of your chat for anyone who doesn't follow that person. So
Huh.
it just makes it easier for them to.
So that's
click
sort
on
of
it.
that's what they've replaced hosting with now, I guess, you know?
Well, I think they've sort of replaced hosting with just, well, it's the same thing. It's the suggested channels section.
Yeah.
So you can just have like, I'm not live, but go and check out these people.
Yeah.
And I need to update my one of those because I did mine at the very start of when I was streaming, and now most of the people on it don't stream anymore.
Oh no. Yeah.
So I probably should mix it up.
Yeah. I don't buy for a second, by the way, that they did it to, save people from being confused. I was not confusing at all. Like you click on the stream and it says,
Oh yeah, that was it.
Briony is currently hosting Dex bonus or whatever. And like, yeah, I understand that it is not Briony I'm watching because Briony's
Yeah.
not on screen. I'm not watching Briony, you know? So, yeah.
Silly.
It's silly. I don't know. Twitch is making weird decisions. At least it's not Twitter, am I right? Oh boy. Hence the Mastodon thing. Were we talking about live or was that
Yeah.
before live? No, it was live.
I
Yeah,
think we were talking about it. Yeah. Because I was confused because for me, Mastodon were like a metal band. And I was like, why is everyone all of a sudden talking about this
Everyone's
band?
really into this metal band, yeah.
Yeah.
The thing a lot of people are like very frustrated about for the whole Twitter Blue, which is what they're calling the new thing, which is like premium Twitter. It's like, oh, this will help your algorithm. This will help, you know, you show up and so on. And I keep thinking of like the way I use Twitter. That literally doesn't matter. Like algorithm has nothing to do with me and Twitter, because I use Twitter in the TweetDeck format, which just simply shows the people I've decided to follow. I see their tweets in chronological order. I see the tweets they've retweeted in chronological order and the tweets they've liked in chronological order. And I see if people reply to me or mention me. And I see my DMs. That's it. Like, the Twitter I get will not be affected with this Twitter Blue in any way, because nothing will be pushed down. Because the thing is, like fucking Lonnie Mush has said that, like, they're gonna push down tweets that aren't Twitter Blue, like, which they'll be calling verified now or whatever. So if you don't pay, like, it's less chance of your stuff being seen, right? And but which to me won't matter much, because I don't ever see any tweets that isn't connected to the people I follow, either because they themselves say it or because they like it or retweet it, you know? But obviously most people don't. Most people use baseline Twitter, just twitter.com, and they use just the Twitter app on their phone, so they get to suffer through all the ads, all the random organization, all the customized feed, all the we think you might like this tweets and so on.
I had one the other day. It was some horrible tweet. I don't know what it was. It was something really depressing, and it was like, we thought this is a topic you might like. I was like, why would anyone like this?
Yeah.
I do not like this.
Is it the Elwood organic dog meat thing, or is that something else? Yeah.
No, but that is amazing.
That's brilliant, actually. I think that's really good.
For context, it's a parody account. This isn't me actually supporting a dog meat account.
Yeah. The entire point of the like Elwood organic dog meat Twitter is that it talks about how amazing, you know, dog meat is, and they are a locally lovingly produced farm that sells really good dog meat for people to have their dog steaks and so on. And the idea is that people are going like, what? That's insane! How could you kill dogs? You can't just kill dogs to eat it. And the entire point is like, yeah, well, you kill chickens to eat it. You kill, you know, you kill cows. Why is it cool to get? And that is that sort of thing. It's the gotcha of the vegan argument, which is a pretty great argument. I think it's a pretty good argument. I think, yeah. And yeah, like it's always cool. It's cool to see it. I think it's an effective way of getting people to sort of realize their hypocriticalness, I suppose. Then of course, there's the alternative. When someone goes like, yeah, I'll eat dog, you know, and in that case, it's kind of backfired if that happens. So that's not so good if that's the case.
Yeah. I can't remember what it was, but Twitter does that weird thing. I mean,
maybe
I
it
think
was
it's
the
just
worm. We think you might like this worm. It's not thriving, but anyway.
It's like one time it popped up on my account. I can't remember why, but there was some account that someone else followed and I'd replied to it, and basically this artist had lost their bunny. So I just sort of like commented saying like, oh, you know, I'm sorry, I know how hard it is, sort of thing. And then for the next week my entire feed was suggested posts of people whose they'd lost their pet, and I was
You
like,
really
I
enjoyed
don't-
talking to this person who lost a pet. Do you want to see more?
this seems to be
Yeah.
your favorite subject. Would you
Yeah.
like to see other people suffer loss? And I was like, no.
Yeah. Well, this is how
Thank
it
you,
works,
Twitter,
right?
but no.
Like, this is how the entire Twitter algorithm works, and why people get so depressed and have a horrible time on Twitter,
Yeah.
because they see someone doing something horrible, they respond like, "I hate this. This is really bad," or you quote retweet, "Look at this idiot doing bad things." Well, guess what? That just told Twitter that you really engaged in that content. So they're gonna make sure to show you as much as possible. You see some horrible right-wing thing saying like NHS should be, whatever, nurses don't deserve a pay, and you're like, yes, they do. Well, guess what? Guess what you're gonna get next most of the time, every single day.
Riled
Algorithms,
up.
yeah, because the algorithms are designed to make you engage more with the platform and the product. So, and that doesn't need to be a positive interaction, which is why
It's like
websites
when you get
that rely on
someone-
algorithms like
When people
Facebook
comment
and Twitter
mean
and so
things on YouTube, and it's just
Yeah.
like, hey, thank you for the interaction.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's sort of like what's always been said, and this is easier said than done, is like what you should do is, if you have a bunch of comments on your YouTube or your Twitter or whatever, like most of them say like, I love this was cool, haha, I like them when this happened, and someone is like, I think you're really stupid for saying X. The worst thing you can do, which is what a lot of people do because it's human nature, is to like, you see all the good stuff, you're like, smile, that's good, or you ignore it because like, yeah, whatever. Like a lot of people have a hard time taking in positive construction of themselves,
Yeah.
But so you then see the bad comment and you respond to argue against it immediately. You're like, what? That's not true. Well, actually, I do this, or you like strike back and like trying to dunk on them or whatever. But all you've done is shown people that if they comment positively, they're never going to get a reaction from you in any way. They're just gonna they're typing it into the nothingness, and who cares? But if they criticize you, you're gonna respond, and then you get to interact with someone.
See,
And
this
I
is why
think,
I try to do the opposite with that.
Yeah.
Like, I will always try and reinforce good behavior.
Yes, exactly.
Positive reinforcement. So I will, like, even if it's just like one of the Yogs videos, I will try and go down in any message that's positive. I don't do it for all of them because that would be madness, but
Yeah.
I'll just like go down any message that said like, oh, I really like this bit, or yay, this person. I'll like all of those and be like, yes, you've said a nice thing. And then I'll
Yeah.
just ignore the mean ones, just like, meh, nope.
Yeah. I don't really read YouTube comments much ever anymore. I think that was burned out of me in my years of actually YouTubing. I realized that I was just not having a fun time reading YouTube comments in general. And
Yeah.
everyone always said, you should just stop reading. You should stop reading. And eventually I just listened. And I did. So I stopped reading.
Yeah.
But every now and then you catch something. Every now you just get like, oh, what you to scroll down a little bit, see if there's anything particularly people said and whatever. And yeah, I find it much more helpful to like. I still get the impulse to someone who says something like, "Lol, how come Ruthie didn't realize that Penguin was a traitor when he was wearing or whatever?" I still immediately get the impulse to say like, "Well, I knew. Well, I knew. It was just because." And also, it's like I don't. Why? I don't
Yeah.
need to explain myself to this random person. Like it's unnecessary. So, but I don't do it anymore. But what I try to do is like sometimes just give one or two quick replies to, a clever, fun comment or something like that, or just. Yeah, at the very least,
I
thumbs
think
up
that
or
is the
whatever. But
thing,
thumbs up
it's-
is,
It's so difficult to not defend yourself and things.
Yeah.
Because I had it recently with people talking about like comparing the two plate up tournaments and stuff. And you want to jump in and be like,
Yeah.
well, actually, because it was the first one, we didn't really have the.
Yeah, I always feel
we
guilty.
had to go in with a bit like
Yeah.
of experimentation because we did it, but then I'm just like, no,
Yeah.
it's not worth it. Just leave it.
I felt guilty like whenever I sung the praises of this newest one, I always felt like, oh no, I keep saying that it's good and it's better than the last one. That's gonna make Kirsty and Briony feel bad. I'm sorry. But
No, I don't
it's
mind that
true
at all.
but it's true. Like it's like the first one, you have to start with a baseline of something so that you can learn
Yeah.
where to go from there. So we started with that. We tested it out. We figured out what worked and what didn't work, and then when the next one came around, we learned from that. So then, like, this tournament, it's much better than the last one, and I was like, oh no, I don't mean to be like say that the other one was bad because it wasn't. That one was fine too. But it's like, yeah, like through experience as a group, we would have figured out. Like, I'm 100% sure that if you and Kirsty had done this one as well, that would have also been excellent because you learned the same. Probably you learned even more lessons than the other people did for this one. So, yeah.
That's the thing. You got to test the water. You got to try things out. Otherwise, you never get to do anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you do get that initial thing of like, I should explain my side of it, and then you're like, no, it's not worth it. I could just move on with my day. That seems better.
I think it's human nature, though. I think it's human nature to, like, for me particularly, and this is something I've tried to stop doing, but it happened all the time in early TTT or stuff like Among Us or whatever. I always feel I have to explain my entire thought process for why I did what I did. Like, as soon as the round ended or whatever, it's like, well, I was thinking because I saw, and then my thought was, and it's like, it doesn't, people don't need to know. Like, it's unnecessary for me to give my entire thought process from beginning to end, really. There's like 12 people in the game or whatever, or I don't know, 8 usually, but like, it's unnecessary for me to just give everything, because then why aren't the other 7 people doing that? And then we just talk about the rounds afterwards forever. Like, yeah, it's not so worth it. We haven't done Among Us in so long now anyway, but yeah. And in TTT these days, it doesn't really...
we can do the VR one soon.
Oh, wow. Is that really what people want in Among Us? I really don't think so. I think a lot of people really just think VR is good. Let's make a VR version. And it's like, will this be improved in any way? Because a lot of games just won't be improved in any way.
Yeah.
I also just don't really play VR. Like, you have a VR, right? Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. And I just never really played. I play it every now and then. I feel guilty every time I look over and I see it, and it's like I should play. And I do play a little bit. I play like half an hour to an hour of Beat Saber or Super Hot or Pistol Whip or anything, and that's fun. But that's more like I play a bit of a party game. It's like loading up a bit of Guitar Hero back in the day or whatever. I have bought Half-Life Alyx and The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, which are both like longer single player.
VR.
Walking Dead Saints and Sinners is what it's called. Yeah.
No.
But that's too scary.
That's too scary.
I don't know if it's scary yet. Yeah. But that's the thing. I've barely played them. Like I loaded up Half-Life Alyx and I played maybe half an hour, and then I just haven't played anymore. For some reason, it's not something I want to sit down and spend hours on, Like, VR for me is kind of a toy more than a game. It's something I bust out when I want to do just a bit of it rather than sit down and do something. But I don't know why it is that way. I really feel like I might very much... Half-Life Alyx is supposed to be very good. So, and I have it, like I know how to play it. I should be able to sit down and play it, but I just don't really feel like it. I think a lot of part of it is like, and this is something that's been a reason why I don't play as many single player games as I used to. I've talked about this a lot, but I used to play single player games all the time. But basically, ever since the birth of broadband and Discord or Ventrilo or whatever, and many multiplayer games, it's rare that I get to just sit and play a single player game because there's people around and we're having either we're just having a nice chat, and then I have a hard time focusing on the deep story of the game while people are making dumb jokes or whatever in my ears the entire time. That kind of breaks the immersion a bit. Or it's
Yeah.
like, anyone for Dotes, anyone for, COD or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, okay, because I want to play with my friends. That's fun. So it's harder to make progress in the
Yeah.
single player games. And it's even worse, I think, to like not even be at the computer, just go away. So a huge reason why I've been able to play more single player games is because I stream them now. Because then like I feel like I'm
Yes.
number one doing it for a job, but also like I'm still getting interaction with my chat, but less so. Like I'm still focusing mostly on the game. And whenever I want to focus on it, I can just not look at chat and think of the game. But then I can easily just talk to people.
Yeah.
It is a bit of a shame though. Like I've taken me a
think for
really long
me,
time to make my way through Cyberpunk because I keep taking breaks because I play it a long time for a while when I really like it, and then I get interrupted and we do something else for a while, and then like I don't really feel like Cyberpunk right now, and it goes like a week or 2 weeks before I play.
yeah. I think for me, I just worry about like the extended period of having a screen that close to my eyes.
Yeah.
Like I can't see me playing. Like the longest I ever played for was when we got our headsets.
You don't
and
wear
we
contacts, right?
No.
No, yeah. I obviously wear glasses, and well, I say obvious, but you probably don't even remember. Fantasia.
Ooh.
So for me, the option is either like to jam the headset on top of my glasses, which gets a bit wonky and it presses on the glasses and it doesn't feel very comfortable, or it's not wear them with glasses, and so basically, whenever I use a headset, it's always a little bit blurry. Even with the glasses on, it
Yeah.
never seems quite right. And I keep always trying to adjust or fix or so on, and it's like, I don't know what it is. Like I've literally gone to the point where I'm considering like getting contacts, at least for like, I don't know, sometimes, so that I can use it to play VR. Because I'm wondering, is that part of why it's not? Because I have played a bit of VR, like more than a bit, and the early goings is really cool. Like it is really cool to like wave your lightsabers around to hit things, to shoot with your gun, to pick up things and juggle, and did that cooking game we did for the Oculus stream. It is fun, but it's temporary fun. Like it's like I said, it's a toy. You go when you're a kid, that's enough to keep you entertained for ages. A fun toy. But
Yeah.
as an adult, a toy isn't enough. I play a toy for a little bit, then I'm bored of the toy. I don't really like it anymore. For me, at
I
this
was
point on,
looking
Beat
back.
Saber is like, okay, I feel like it's like audio surf, like I want to listen to some music and kind of be part of it, That's what I
Yeah.
do it for, really.
I looked back at this toy that I really wanted as a child. Like it was so expensive. It was a robot dog, like a proper,
Yeah.
it was called Aibo, and it was a proper
Yeah.
robot dog. And I was looking at it again because I was like, I wonder how much they actually were, because when I was a child, it was just like £1,000,000. I think it was like £1,000, but to me, that was like the most money anyone could ever have. And I looked at them again and I was like, I would get so bored of that now.
Yeah, yeah.
Like they're very
you'll
sweet
get
and
it.
they're obviously very smartly programmed, but
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, after a day, I'd be like,
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
what do I do?
You'll get it, you look at it, and it's like, oh, look at it. And then you leave it in a corner of your room gathering dust,
Yeah.
Sean Thorne says you can get prescription lens inserts from most headsets. Yeah, you can. And that is something I have been looking at.
Ooh.
I've been meaning to get a new pair of glasses anyway. I haven't gotten a new prescription updated since before COVID. So I've had these for a while, and you're really supposed to change your glasses more often. So I need to do that as well. And when I do, I'm going to try to write down the prescription and then see what it'll cost me to get the Oculus prescription lenses, to see whether that help. Because if it's too expensive, I might not be asked with it. But if it's not too bad, yeah.
I was hoping to record some VR games and then use those as like YouTube stuff. But for some reason, I just couldn't get it to connect to the computer. I can play the games on the headset, but it just won't connect to my computer, and then I gave up. And then it's been half a year.
I've gotten mine to work. Hence the stream we did. Obviously, that one was ours. Me and Boba were doing that externally, so we managed to sort it out. We did have to buy a program, I think. I don't remember what it's called. Air something. Air receiver. That's what it's called.
I'll give it another go eventually. I just sort of was like, I
That's the
get
thing. Like, the
too,
more effort it is, the more easy it is to just, nah, I'll just play other good stuff, you know? And you have, like,
yeah,
cool plans for YouTube channel already that isn't necessarily, like, tons of VR stuff. I also don't know how fun watching other people's VR content is. Like, obviously,
yeah,
Half-Life Alyx and other games, people have, like, done playthroughs or let's plays of those as well. But watching someone control the camera with the mouse or with a controller is still pretty smooth. But someone going like this with your head and like the unsteady generalness of your because when you watch
yeah,
something from your point of view, your sights that you like your eyes stabilize automatically. If you focus your eyes on like a word and then you move your head around, like it's still super stable, that's fine. But if you try to focus on something and then the entire screen moves, that's a lot harder to stay focused on, you know?
yeah.
So I don't
It's
know,
like I
like,
was
is it any
watching
good?
one of my friends was playing Dota last night, and I was
Mm,
watching. She was like streaming her perspective to me,
yeah.
and I found myself. I kept on trying to move the screen because I wanted
Mm,
it to be like she doesn't move her screen how I do when I play, and I was
yeah.
getting so frustrated. I was like, I can't watch
Yeah.
because I just kept on. It's like muscle memory. I was like just trying to move it over to the side, trying to like check on the map where things were,
Yeah.
and I was just like, nope. Had to like do
Yeah. Like
something
in
else to
certain
distract me.
like in team fights, like you want to have position over this, or like, okay, we're doing this. I wanna stay at the top of the screen. I don't want to be centered. And yeah, it's a whole change.
Yeah,
It's kind of a
need the
skill because some
control.
people make you dizzy, some people are good at it. I could see that, yeah. If someone is used to VRing, I guess, they might
Yeah,
know how to keep it. I don't know if it's either it's conscious or it's subconscious, but they might know roughly like how to keep your like where to look to make it appealing to watch, you know? Yeah. I don't know. VR
I was.
is interesting, but I ultimately wonder if we're actually gonna go anywhere. Like
Yeah,
the technology companies and gaming companies have seemed to believe for a while that VR is 100% the future. It's where we're all going. It's never quite happened. Like people are happy to test out a bit of VR, but it never hits it big ever, really. Um
yeah. I think like the cutest thing for me was when my. This is back when we were in the flat, so this was about
mm,
6 years ago now. But my dad came to stay with us, and we were showing him VR because I think Alex had just got his headset.
yeah.
And Alex showed my dad this thing of like, it was meant to be a recreation of whichever Apollo landed on the moon.
Yeah.
And my dad was like so blown away by it. Like the rest of the day, he was talking as if he had been to the moon, sort of thing. He was like, "Oh yeah, when we did this thing, and then oh, like when you're going through space, oh my god, all of this stuff." It was so sweet, and I was like, "That's the sort of stuff I think it would be good for." I think education. I also have a
Yeah.
friend who, for a while, they were um looking into. I guess they still are. We've not spoken for a while now, but they're looking into using like VR for rehabilitation as well. So
Okay.
things like people who have lost like part of their bodily use and
Yeah.
the brain tricking them into using it again, that sort
Yeah.
of thing. Which I think, those sorts of things. Or like having like imagine if you just had like a VR tour of I don't know, something that you're probably never going to see, like the Terracotta Army, and you could have
Yeah.
that in schools and kids could actually walk around it and get the
Yeah.
scope of the size of things. Like, I think those sorts of things I can see it being used for, like education and that sort of stuff. I think it'd be
So
really,
so there is
really
like
good.
this VR sections of YouTube and stuff, right? And there are
Yeah.
channels there that have these like 360-degree explorations and stuff, and it's like going underwater with 360 cameras and so on. And you can just go in and you just look around underwater. That stuff is really cool. Like in terms of just like seeing stuff, it's pretty interesting. But in terms of like
Yeah.
interacting and things, like gaming basically, yeah, everyone can, like, it's cool to hold a gun and point and click, or like poke with a wand or whatever, and
I
that
like it
is
when you
kind
have a
of
bow
cool.
and arrow in VR and you're
Yeah,
like, pew.
yeah, and I do enjoy that. Like, I feel badass when I play pistol whip, and I'm like, because I like you reload by like aiming the gun downwards, and I always do like I can't stop doing like almost like I'm doing a flip every time. It's like I feel cool, so that part is nice.
Yeah.
But if I were to, I would never want to play like a long game that worked like that. It's there for
Yeah.
short stuff, which is what it is. Like, Pistol Whip is like a music track with a thin story based over it, and very basic looking enemies, and you just go through and shoot in time, and you dodge bullets that hit you, and so it's kind of alright, but it's fun.
Yeah.
But yeah. But I think the biggest stuff that impresses in VR is when you do stuff in the beginning. Like, there's just like the Oculus has like this, just like getting started with Oculus or something app, which is just very basic of like, you go into this place and you find like this little robot that flies around, and he like throws a bunch of cassettes at you, and you like type in a cassette and it's different thing. Like you throw a paper airplane about, you juggle some balls, you like swipe a like a fly swatter or whatever, like, and of course shoot some guns against target practice stuff.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, doing that for the first time feels more amazing than the other more focused stuff, because it lets you feel like, oh wow, this is, I can really
It's so
do anything,
intuitive,
you know.
that one.
Yeah, it works really well. If or when I introduce others to VR, like, that's what I'm gonna load up for them, you know, like, here, put on the headset, let me load up the game for you, bam, you know. And I think that's when they will have the most fun, because those games are cool, and they're a cool thing to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
I hope that like it gets somewhere, VR. But the problem is, I really feel like people are trusting more just in the technology, it'll be interesting, without actually thinking through what it'll actually do, what it'll be good for. Like, I don't know if you've seen, I mean, I hope you haven't, but like the like Meta and all the commercials and stuff they're doing for their Horizon Worlds, because they are like, you know, betting like the entire company on that VR is going to be super useful. And in all their commercials of like, this is what you can do with your amazing Meta, like, their crazy thing they can do is put on VR headset and still sitting at a computer, but now there's virtual monitors for you to use. Like, buy this entire VR headset and you can have 3 monitors, and I'm like, you can have that without a VR headset. They're like, use it for your work, and it's like, oh, you can have 2 desks. You know, it's like, what? How is that helpful at all? It's just so creatively bankrupt. They just don't have any real. They're betting so much on VR being the new thing. Everyone should come VR thing, and what they have is like a third-rate Second Life, you know, Roblox lobby for people to meet each other. Like, they didn't have legs for most of the time. They only recently got legs, and then like, what? Oh, you can also use it for work. Puts on a giant VR headset so that you can have 1 extra virtual monitor, which that doesn't feel good in VR. Like, you want to have real stuff. So yeah, I don't know. They are putting all the money into it because they feel like the VR should be the next thing, but they don't actually have any reasons to use it ultimately.
The thing I really liked VR for was because we all got headsets over lockdown.
Yeah.
And it was just nice doing things like Rec Room, and all being sat in a room together with these people that I hadn't actually been able to see for a long time. And obviously you're just looking at like a silly little avatar of them. But we honestly spent so much time, like Kirsty and I would just walk around on there's like a frisbee golf course, and we would just follow each other around and just be like, we'd just be slapping hands at each other and stuff. And it was really fun to just feel like Kirsty was there when I couldn't actually be with her, sort of thing. So that stuff was really nice.
I didn't know Kirsty had the VR headset too. That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, I mean, it is cool. Like, there's a version of Hangouts, you know, like, yeah.
Like, Rec Room is fun because you can do things just like Pictionary and stuff, where
ping
you
pong
get
and
this
stuff,
little
yeah.
drawing gun, and that's what we used it for. I can't remember whose birthday it was, but we had someone's birthday party in Rec Room because that was the
Yeah.
only way we could all be there with each other.
Yeah.
So that stuff was nice. But eventually
Yeah.
everyone would have to leave because they were starting to feel the sickness.
Yeah, that is a bad thing as well. Like, you have to kind of work yourself up to be able to do it for longer periods of time. Eventually you just get like headaches and or you know, motion sickness or whatever.
You could always tell that someone had to sit down on the floor or something because all of a sudden their character was like half the height. And you'd be like, you okay?
Yeah. I think maybe like the vast majority of my friendships are online. So I'm used to just being separated from people like via hundreds and thousands of miles.
Yeah.
Because I have a few IRL friends, but even them I rarely meet. Like, it's rare that we actually meet up anymore, you know? Like,
Yeah.
even for them it's often just like texting or whatever when we talk. So it's so rare. So like, I've for the longest time, my best friends, like probably for like 20 years or at least 15, like my best friends and the people I talk to most have always been, you know, Brits or Americans or whatever, like people who are not actually in my country. So I can't even meet up with them if I wanted to. So
Yeah.
so much of what I'm used to in terms of like interaction with friends and spending time with them is like this on Discord in front of a computer. So I wonder if like that means I feel less that desire to meet someone and hang out with someone. Because like when you're talking about Rec Room and stuff, me like that sounded fun. But for me, it was like, is that something I think I would do a lot? Go to specifically hang out with people in Rec Room? I would probably feel like this meeting could have been an email. No, but I mean, like, we could have just been on Discord, you know, like that sort of thing.
I got it with you when we were playing. Oh, what was it called? The
Demio?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'm next to Rydia.
Yeah.
Well, I make myself really small and just sit on the board like, hee.
Yeah. I hope I can show up to Bristol to single them. It's not 100% decided yet or anything, but like it would be great because I haven't met you guys in so long. It would be really nice. Man, we've talked for an hour. Nice. As always.
Oh yeah, should we play a game?
Let me go get a drink and then we can play. Okay. Okay. Bye for now.
Bye. I hope my audio is working because I forgot to test it before we started. And I was mucking around with it last night, so fingers crossed. Bibgies! Meeting up with friends more, I just realised how much I missed it, but during the lockdowns I did not realise I missed anything. Yeah, I think everyone surprisingly got, well, not everyone, but a lot of people seem to get into like a new rhythm quite quickly with lockdown. Video games in this podcast stream. Sorry. We shall be. It'll just be the Ace Attorney podcast, though. Solitude is addictive too. Yeah. I think it is easy to get into, like... I mean, when I think about... I like going for walks every day, but I think it's been, like, a few days since I went for a walk. Just get out of the habit quickly. Hello.
What habit?
Well, I used to go for a walk after work every day, but now because it's dark when I finish work, don't really get the urge because I like going through the woods. And our
also,
local
your work
woods
is
doesn't have any
streaming,
lights whatsoever.
So, you know.
Yeah. Well, during lockdown, when Alex and I were working from home, we would both like finish at 5:30 and then we'd go for a walk together. It was nice. It was our little routine.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Now it's too dark.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, you could still walk in the dark, but like you see a lot less.
Yeah.
I used to go for longer walks when I was living. Me and my dad. We were living in like a more suburby type area. Like right now, I basically live in the middle of the city. And we
Yeah.
were living in a much like smaller area, and I loved being out walking, even sort of late at night. The air felt so fresh, like it's insane. Like I don't really feel like this is a very polluted area or anything, but like obviously in the middle of the city is different than out, almost in like a quite farming area, but there was like a lot of like farmland-ish in that area.
Yeah.
And it was just nice and cold and fresh, in the evening, and it was really quiet, like a lot quieter. And I really enjoyed that. And then when I moved here, which was like almost 10 years ago now, it's just different. Like, it doesn't feel as nice and calm. I just walked out and like either listened to some music or a podcast or just listened to nothing, just walked around thinking, and I kind of enjoyed it, But I can't get
Yeah.
that same feeling where I live now. I sometimes think like maybe I don't want to live in this city. It's too big. I don't really need the bustling inner city active life or whatever. Like that's not really my thing anyway. As long as I have like decent internet, like and I can get where I want to go with a bus, then that's fine. All I need. Right. Keep connecting me on Parsec. There you are.
Venus, what was the game I played a while back with a dog park? A dog park? What did the dog park do? what did you do in the dog park? I don't remember. I played many games with dogs in. Remember a dog park one?
Your microphone doesn't even aim at you.
No.
It's just in the middle of the screen, aiming to the left.
The sound... Alex told me that the sound picker-upper is in the side, like here.
Huh.
You're meant to talk into the side of it on these ones.
Interesting.
Wait,
it doesn't look like it.
If you take off the... Let me know. How does this change? If I'm like, hello, 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 hello. Actually, that just gets closer. Hello. 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 Hello.
Yeah.
Do you want me to take off my pom-pom?
Well, I mean,
I
assume it's still
going to look...
Yeah. I assume it's still going to
look
like...
it's just a big... It's just a big round.
Yeah, usually it's not really. But yeah, it is on the side. That's weird. It's positioned as if it's a front one. Mine looks like, I mean, it's the... You can't really see it from this angle. I'd have to like flip and stuff, but if this is like faced forwards, it's like you're speaking into a phone and the microphone is at the front, sort of type of thing. It's really nice, actually.
I'm hoping to get one of those new ones that they possibly...
not to like leak internal possible branded sponsor gear or whatever, but like so all of those things is like a possibility. And looking at it, I'm like, oh, that seems nice, and I'm like, I probably could get one of the fancier ones. But likely I will need like you'll need like a mixer or like a preamp or
they're all
like
XLR.
Yeah. and I was like, I could get those too. Like I could either fork out the money or find out a way to get them also for free somehow maybe or whatever. But I don't know why, because I'm actually very happy with my current microphone, which I also gave him for free by El Gato, who make good stuff. And I've been very impressed with this one. It's really cool.
Oh, I think I remember the dog park game, but I don't remember what the game was. I played too many.
You had long arms and had to give dog pats that get them go back to sleep, and a dog fell asleep on a bike.
It was... Oh my gosh. It'll come to me. It wasn't Wobble Dogs. It was something else.
I'm going to increase the volume of the game a little bit since we're about to play.
Gonna say I can't hear the game at all, so I was like, have I messed with my sound settings or...
No, it was just very quiet because As lovely as his main mini music is, it's not necessarily something you want to listen to for an hour straight. So I just put it very low to have a little bit of a background while we were chatting for the full hour.
Yes. Okay.
Right. Are we good to go?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Yes, Queen.
Ice cream.
Ice cream. We all scream. Or ice cream.
What was that thing recently? There was it a Baskin Robbins that had a sign outside that said, "Ice cream, you scream, we all scream, the cops arrive, it gets messy," or something?
Yeah, that was pretty funny. All right. Much as I like to think about ice cream, it's time to think about law. 2nd November, 12:33 p.m. The Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber.
Oh, there you are, Odo.
What's kept you, my dear fellow? Hello, Mr. Shums. Gina?
You sure about what you said in there? That the boss, actually died the day before. It's pretty hard to swallow.
All right, I have forgotten to actually put the screen on the game. They're just watching my face and their own chat. Rip in peace. Fine, I'll let you guys see.
As you've been good.
They've been nice, they've been kind. Game, show up, please. Game. Hold on.
Yeah, you found me.
Yeah, I did. I found the game. Capture any full screen platform, please. Please.
Actually, I don't think I will.
I don't think I will capture the game. Okay, there we go. There we go. Game wants to stay an audio drama. Exactly. Yeah.
Yes, I was shocked by the revelation too, Gina.
Thank you, by the way, Gamtrack, for subscribing with Twitch Prime. Oh shit, I skipped, didn't I? What's happening? It's skipping? Why is it skipping so? What? Did I turn on autoplay?
Have
oh
you
no!
Said it to...
I think my mute button turns on autoplay. Oh no!
Oh no!
I just wanted to mute to say thank you to Gamtrack for subscribing. As was I. Possibly more shocked than both of you. It's not a competition, Mr. Shums. But I was more shocked than all of you put together. This is the autopsy report in question, is it? Yes. It's strange that there's no time of death noted. I suppose this is a simple explanation. Or perhaps it was a deliberate explanation.
Oh dear. If it was deliberate... It puts me in mind of the last case we worked on, and Dr. Scythe.
I know. Anyway, that seems that on the day before Lord Van Seeks discovered his body... His body? Oh yeah, his body, yeah. Inspector Gregson was investigating the Red-Headed League, so perhaps something happened with them. Come to think of it, you had trouble with those League men too, didn't you, Mr. Shums? You were taken in by the trick. No. Naturally, I wasn't taken in, as you put it. My sleuthhound interest was merely piqued slightly by the rare scent of a weekly £4 income. And that scent masked the underlying scent of deception, I suppose.
The two criminals in question are the pair we saw being arrested yesterday, aren't they? In Mr. Shums' suite, I mean. That's right, Suze. And it was me what took him in. Thanks to a tip-off by a good law-abiding citizen.
Indeed, yours truly. So it's going to be that pair in the witness stand next, is it? Something doesn't quite make sense to me, though. The day before the Inspector Gregson was found, you hadn't had trouble with the Red-Head League yet, had you? Why would the Inspector have been investigating them? Well, the likely explanation would be that Gregson's own sleuthhound interest was piqued by the rare scent of a weekly £4 income.
Don't tell him with the same brush as you, Sholmes.
Yes, well, then there's the whole issue of Inspector Gregson being investigated by Lord Van Seeks for some reason.
I just realised something really sad.
Oh, what?
That because it's not actually Friday, because we're playing this, I was like, oh, I get chips tonight.
Oh, no,
but
you
it's
don't.
not Chippy Tea night. I have to wait 2 more nights for Chippy Tea. Oh.
This has thrown the entire schedule for a loop. It has for me, too.
Oh.
Because now I have something like I'm playing on Friday, but then there's something I really wanted to play as well. I wanted to play God of War, which I just got a key for.
Boy.
Very excited. Boy, listen to me, boy. And then I have to stream on Thursday. That means I streamed every day this week. Madness. I don't know if I can do it. It's too much. I'm gonna crash. I might.
Oh, no.
Depends on how much I really feel like playing it, or if I feel like I can wait until next week.
Yeah. The Reaper. The Red-Headed League. Oh my gosh.
This time it's you yawning,
Lord
not me.
Van Seeks.
All right.
I'm so snoozy.
Yeah. Maybe we don't go too long today then. If you're super snoozy. Which is a shame for the people who came here to watch Grey's Attorney, because we spent 1 hour talking about random stuff, and then
No
we're like,
game
yeah,
for you.
we're done. Say goodbye. See you next week. It's like we got through one scene of the lawyering. You barely just sent them into the witness stand. Damn you, Rythian and Briony. And Kazuma. I feel as though he knew we'd arrive at this point somehow.
Gosh, I think you're right.
What's he really trying to achieve here today? All the answers will soon be revealed. Observe the time, my dear fellow. This recess will be over very shortly. Yes, you're right. Kazuma was determined that he should be the one to prosecute this trial. And he was determined that I should take the defense. Just what is it that he's hoping to make me see, I wonder? I get the feeling we're a long way from the end of this trial yet. And also from this game! Every now and then it strikes me, oh yeah, this is only case 4.
Yeah.
This feels like it's building up to be case 5, but
so,
it really
like,
isn't.
Wrapped up.
Yeah. It feels like we're about to find out everything about the professor and Kazuma and everyone. And then like, well, isn't the story over then? But then, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe we will only find like out one big thing that will then immediately lead into, oh my god, case 5, which is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Unless
I reckon
it's something
be...
like the very first Phoenix Wright game, which isn't, because that's a unique circumstance. But in the very first Phoenix Wright game, the 4th game is the first case, the biggest and super special one. Like that tells all the story of what happened to Edgeworth and everything. It's like, oh wow, all the story. And then after that you're done, and they're like, all right, case 5, and it's an entirely different case. But that is because originally when the game came out on the Game Boy Advance, there were only 4 cases, and when it was re-released for the DS, they added a 5th case that specifically introduced some DS features like blowing on the microphone for fingerprint dust, and like spraying with Lysol in places to see blueprints and stuff.
Yeah.
Are you ready then, Mrs. Sato?
Yes.
Second November, 1 p.m. The Old Bailey Courtroom. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session again. We resume the closed court hearing of Barak Van Seeks, here present, who stands accused of murder. And now then, Prosecutor Asogi.
My lord?
Have you summoned the witnesses as requested?
Yes, the 2 members of the Red-Headed League who planned and carried out the deception. They arrived not long ago from the local prison by police carriage. Carriage.
Carriage? Very good. Bailiff, usher the two men into the courtroom. There they are.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, he's just eating spaghetti. Why are they allowed all their like extra stuff on court? That always blows my mind. Like they're allowed the most random things to carry with them and have on the stand. It's great. I love it, but yeah.
Well, it's like when people are allowed like guns and explosives and stuff on the stand.
Yeah, exactly. Like some people carrying bombs and firecrackers, and it's like, what the hell?
These two men are currently being held by the police on suspicion of attempted extortion. You may omit your occupations, but state your names now for the court.
I am Fabien de Rousseau, a descendant of the great Rousseau family from Nice, in France.
And my name is Peppino de Rossi.
Oh, I don't know which one of these I want to voice the most. Because I like doing a French accent. But it's a very funny to speak in an Italian voice. So. But I think we'll stick with that. I'll be Frenchy, you'll be Italiani.
I am the third son of the great family de Rossi, the landowners from Napoli. The two men first became acquainted at a boarding school for European nobility.
Where's Chris Pratt when you need him? Right. Courtroom, here we come. Those who graduate from Temsig are the future leaders of Europe. But do you have any idea how boring it is to be born with noble blood? Alors, I'm making my mission to get the better of the world by employing the little grey cells of my brain. That is all I am trying to do, huh? So, that's the only reason for this whole grand deception you've been carrying out? Oui. Because is that?
Not bad, eh? He has the grand ideas and but the petty plans. This strange combination is the charm of the hilarious brothers. Hilarious.
Hilarious. My God.
Si, capo.
Listen to me, Pepino. I have two things to say to you.
Wait, che, ke?
I had no clue.
I think it's ke.
Maybe, yeah.
What are you about to tell me, grande anecdotes? And viva!
Firstly, I want you to stop calling me this capo. And secondly, we are not the hilarious brothers. This is serious business.
Que bello! There it is! The capo's trump card! The furrowed brow! It is deep, eh, capo? The furrow and the meaning of your words.
The court has been led to believe that under the banner of the Red-Headed League, you have conspired to swindle money from unsuspecting members of the public. Is this true? Oui, c'est ça. And what exactly was the nature of this deception by which you planned to defraud? Hello, I will explain it.
No, capo. Leave it to me.
To me!
As you see, we both have the vivid red hair, no? At school, we were teased for this without pity. The capo here, he was many times behind the schoolhouse, crying like the Trevi fountain. Those dogs! One day the world will respect us redheads. Every night he would bury his head in his pillow.
C'est bien, Pepino, enough. I will explain the rest. Buried in his pillow and weep for the injustice. The first step was the newspaper advertisement. About 1 week before the plan was put into operation, we listed the same notice in every paper in London. Yes, we saw that notice. It was this one, I believe, entitled To the Red-Headed League. Oui, c'est ça. I am honored that you have seen it. It states that the only conditions for joining the league is having flame-colored hair, and that if you satisfy the interview panel and are admitted into the league, you could receive a weekly income of £4.
On the date specified, red-headed hopefuls gathered in droves at the park specified in the advertisement. And from each person present, this pair took an application fee of 5 shillings.
And with the money, to France was the plan most elegant, no?
No, it was most dishonourable.
I mean, just sounds like a lottery to me.
Yeah,
Except
true.
you never do the payout, you know. Come buy a raffle ticket, only 50 cents. And if you win, you can get $2,000. Everyone's like, hell yeah. And then ultimately when it's done, it's like, the winner is this lovely lady. And Briony standing there. I totally don't know this fellow. And then we split the cash. Easy peasy. As a side note, if anyone is interesting, Brian and I are starting up a lottery. It's going to be very, very special. If you're interested, keep your eyes open on Twitter.
But to be frank, I'm stunned anybody was foolish enough to be taken in by such an obvious trick. The park was described by one witness as choked with red-headed folk, like a Costa's orange barrow. What's that mean?
I don't know what a coster is.
Maybe it's someone who sells fruit and they've got a big barrow of oranges? I don't know.
Maybe.
And the day on which all these men gathered to apply was the day before the victim was discovered. Crucially, these 2 men spoke face to face with every single person present that day.
Oui, I have seen more red-headed people in one day than I will see in the rest of my life.
See. And now, every time I see the capo's hair, I feel sick to my stomach.
Anyway, why have we been summoned here today? Sorry? The date for our trial was not until tomorrow, I was told.
Naturally, neither of these men have been told any details about this trial. They've only been shown this photograph.
Very good. So, Mr. de Rousseau and Mr. de Rossi. I like how their names also just means, oh yeah, of the red, you know?
Yeah.
You will now give your formal testimony for the court on the subject of the gentleman pictured in this photograph. Of course, we are always ready to help with the law. The man in the photograph. We had more than 1,000 red-headed people assemble in the park on Lime Street that day.
But I don't recall the man in this photograph. Capo?
No, I don't remember him. Obviously, he is dead now, but I assure you he was not in the park.
Alors, no, wait, that's French. This victim is nothing to do with us.
Alors, this victim. Allora, this. Yeah, how do you say allora in Italian? I guess. Yeah, this is nothing. You have a lot to answer for, Peppino. It is your fault that we got caught in the first place. Really now.
You've given sworn testimony that this man in the photograph was not present. Can you be certain?
Oui. I am quite certain. We did not interview this man.
Nobody looking like this that came to the park. This I can promise.
It must be noticed that you have been arrested for a grand deception, however. Accordingly, this court has he suddenly become very English, which he wasn't before. Accordingly, this court has little confidence in your assurances.
Oof. With this attitude, we get a no, huh?
He's really sulking now.
This confidential document was obtained directly from Scotland Yard. It records an entry from the inspector's private diary dated the day before the incident. It reads, Lime Street, Red-Headed League, undercover. Ah, I have the answer. Maybe there was another similar event in the park on the day in question, eh?
That is ridiculous. There's no question that Inspector Gregson was investigating the Red-Headed League. Which means it's quite possible that's when he was killed. Very well. The defense may proceed with the cross-examination now. Yes, my lord.
Hold it!
1,000 people. That's a very big crowd. It was quite a spectacle. Redheads had come from all over the capital.
See, the capo here. He has the magnetismo animale, eh? Nobody else could attract so many people. If I could be born again, I would be the capo.
All those people wanted was the money, Peppino. It's £4 per week. Are you suggesting that you spoke personally with all 1,000 applicants? Oui. Is that what we did? Because every one of them paid us 5 shillings.
We take their names and we take their money. We take their addresses as well. Then I tell them we take some days to let them know by a post. E finito. Maybe 2 minuti a person. We start early in the morning and we stop late in the night.
So, you earned 5,000 shillings in one day? That's a small fortune.
Who would have thought there were 1,000 such gullible redheads in London to start with?
One of whom was a great detective with chemically altered hair.
Hold it!
He doesn't look at all familiar.
No, I don't think so. And this is a wig, eh? He was trying to trick us. I do not like the people who are trying to trick other people.
Yeah, oh, that sounds horrible, yeah. Says the con artist.
If between them they interviewed 1,000 people with red hair, it would be unreasonable to expect them to remember every face. No, signore. I may be small, but my memory is very large. I never forget a thing. In my opinion, I do not think this man was in the park.
But he's not going to give the court a definite, it seems.
Eh, Capo? You didn't see a man like this, huh?
Not that I necessarily think you need to fix it or anything, but you are crackling a little bit, Briony.
Oh, let me
Weird thing.
restart voice meter, see if that makes
Okay.
it behave.
Okay.
Is that any better?
Maybe. I will let you know if you still crackle.
Okay.
Hold it!
But according to what you've said, you spoke with 1,000 more people that day. Oui, that's true. My eyes were burning by the end of the day. Surely then, you can't actually remember every single face. How are you so certain that this particular man wasn't present?
Normally the red hair is very distinctive, eh? But not when you have 1,000 redheads crowding around, then it's just an eyesore. But if there was some other information you could give us, maybe we could recall?
That is not the line, Peppino. Remember, we do not remember him. We are sure of that fact, huh? If there was a man with a red hairpiece, but his mustache did not match the color, then I do not think I could have forgotten him. Casma said these two had only been shown that photograph and they'd been told nothing else at all. But what if I fed them just one other detail about the victim? For example, his fish and chips?
Oh, Yes.
I can certainly appreciate that just knowing the man had red hair, I wouldn't wouldn't help you remember in this situation. What if I told you that the man was always munching on a packet of fish and chips? Do you remember a man who was eating incessantly? Not really. I was looking only at the ads of the applicants. I wouldn't have noticed the fish and chips more than any, the caviar and smoked salmon.
Or a spaghetti. Me, I love a spaghetti.
Ah, me too, DeRossi. Me too. Inchia saying that's everyone in England. I'm eating fish and chips right now. That's true. That's true. You were literally just saying you wanted to go get chips, so yeah. Tell them again what you said before, Peppino.
Si, capo, si. I say it again and again.
Hold it!
But we only have your word for that.
Si, but what else can we do, huh?
True.
Oof, we are not having a much of fun these days.
Well, yeah, you're going to prison, so...
First we are arrested, then we are shown the horrible picture of a dead man. And now you question every single thing we say. We are the victims here. Eh, Capo?
No, you were caught carrying out a plot to swindle hundreds of innocent people.
You had to bring that up, eh? It's not fair. Eh, Capo?
Hold it!
What do you mean by that?
Cavolo, you promised not to say, eh, Capo?
After we had taken all the money that day, we should have left the country. That was my plan. I left the purchasing of the tickets for the ferry to Dunkirk. Dunkirk? We were going to Dunkirk, to my companion here. But he bought them for the wrong day. Oops.
See, but it is an easy mistake to make, huh? The 1st, the 31st.
I love a mistake to make. I think that's amazing. Wolf, I have no sympathy for you. You are an all day late for the boat because of your stupidity. And it's only because that the so-called great red-headed detective caught us.
Capo, you know what I think? This is the work of God. Is a holy punishment, eh?
Peppino, for the last time, this is not only punishment, this is only your fault. That's good. That's good. Don't blame God for your unholy mistakes. You are making me sick with anger.
Maybe I make a mistake, but when it is time to eat the pasta, no one is a fasta.
I love this guy. This is one of my favorites ever. I've seen the evidence. Yeah, he's already eaten like 2 plates of spaghetti, I think. They haven't told us much which we didn't already know.
What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo?
Well, it was in the inspector's diary. It seems likely that he must have gone to Lime Street that day. Yet these two both claimed they didn't see him. I have to say... Oh.
I have to say, they don't appear to be telling lies.
Well, they are experts in deception, don't forget. Sounding plausible is their specialty. They may be lying simply to avoid being implicated in this case as well.
Surely if they were truly experts in deception, they wouldn't have been caught.
Well, yes, you do have a point there. It seems to me like we need more information.
Definitely.
I'm gonna go back to the thing and then ask again. Was it on... Was it on the second one? That had the... when I could put in more details.
Maybe.
Third one then, maybe.
Hold it!
Or was it the fourth one? Ah, yeah, no, it was this one. Profession? I thought it would be fish and chips with these two, but we'll try the others, I guess. I can certainly appreciate that just knowing the man had red hair wouldn't help you remember in this situation. What if I told you that the man in the red hairpiece was actually a detective? The man in the photograph? A detective? Yes.
It would appear he found your notice in the paper suspicious and decided to investigate incognito.
I do not know this incognito you are talking about. I've never met him. Sorry, but this changes nothing. Oh boy.
Excuse me.
Excuse me. Something to add, Mr. DeRossi?
Okay, see, I am always adding something. Parmesan, olive oil, pepper.
What I mean is, did you not agree with your friend's last remark by any chance?
What did he just say about the detective?
Yes, that. Keep your mouth shut, Peppino. You have said enough already.
But why, Capo? What is the problem? There was a man who said, I am an inspector from Scotland Yard.
What? Good lord. I love they always stand on a box. Order! 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 Explain this vault-face in your testimony, witness.
It's simple. A man who was at the park said, oh.
There was no such man.
Oh. Madei, what are you saying, Capo? Have you forgotten, eh?
I have forgotten nothing. Nobody like this came to the park.
Basta, Capo, basta. You beat me at many things, but not two. The memory and the meals. Like I said, when it is time to eat the pasta, now it is a fasta.
But you are inferior to me in every other way, so shut up.
Oh, they're turning on each other.
Yeah. Trop tard. The damage is done. Indeed it is, sir. Oui, there was a man who came to the park and said he was an inspector from Scotland Yard. However, he looked nothing like the man in the photograph. He was someone else. How can you be so sure? Because the thought was his face was completely different.
See, it's true, it's true. The man who came was a younger. His face was a clean shaven, his eyes were sad, his chin was thin.
No resemblance whatsoever, then. Anyway, I was not going to be fooled. I took the obvious precaution and said to him, if you are really a detective, show us the proof.
You see, the capo here, he doesn't take no nonsense, eh?
But he was well prepared. He said he had identification. Identification? You mean official police inspector's identification? That is most unconvincing. Sorry, my lord. Counsel, no incognito inspector would offer his identification for inspection. It's quite out of the question.
Definitely. Why would he expose his true identity?
Clearly the papers were fake.
Certo, capo, you are a genius. As we say in Italia, it makes a thief to recognize another, eh?
And what happened after he announced that he was a detective? He became very annoying. He said, you are under investigation. So I took his papers from him and chased him out of the park.
It was fantastico. And look, here is the identification. So you stole from the man. He had it coming. He made us very scared. But he was not who he said that he was.
Indeed. The person described does not appear to have behaved as a true inspector would. However, I believe it would be prudent for these identification papers to be entered into evidence.
But I like them. I bet it's gonna be... What's his chops? Daily, nightly thingy.
Patrol,
daily.
Mr. Patrol Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. Oh, really? Oh, I have to click here.
Oh. Daily Vigil, that's the one.
That's his name, yeah. Well, I suppose we should see what the inspector's identification looks like inside. Yes, it definitely looks fake, doesn't it?
Out of interest, what name is given?
Probably just something plucked out of the air. It's Tobias Gregson. Wait, what?
The Scotland Yard insignia. Looks genuine to me.
But how?
And the department and identification number details are correct as well.
Since when have you known those? Do you mean to say?
I know it seems incredible, but yes. I think this is a genuine identification book issued by Scotland Yard.
Scotland Yard. But that's unbelievable. This is the real thing after all.
What?
Alright, so we were entirely wrong. Unless it was Daily
They
Vigil
nicked it.
who had stolen it, yeah.
He killed him and then he stole it.
But why? You are still frozen, by the way. I don't
Oh,
know
boo.
if it's something you can fix quickly. If
I
not,
guess should I
it's
just-
fine, it's doable, but yeah.
I'll hang up the call and
Okay.
start again.
Sure,
If that helps.
might help.
Hello?
Hello?
And I'll restart voice me.
Okay.
I realised I said that in the middle of doing it, so
Yeah.
it cut out.
Restart voice me. Yeah.
I'm just going to drive through this tunnel.
Yeah, exactly. Get air.
Is it still being crickle crackles?
No, so far no, but like it's not hugely crickly crackly. I just notice it every now and then, you know. And then
Yeah.
sometimes I wait for a logical moment to tell you. I don't want you to like have it to go through and fix a ton, but yeah. Now let us return to the witness's testimony. Victim's nothing to do with us. Well, I mean, it might have something to do with you, I guess, because he's Gregson and he was investigating. Is
Yeah.
that we should present, maybe? Yeah.
Objection!
Fiction.
I wonder if I could ask you to examine this identification book very closely. Miss Lestrade,
Why, Miss Lestrade?
what is your intention here, counsel? Is this really a fake or is it genuine? That's the question, which we can't answer ourselves.
Don't be ridiculous. No Scotland Yard detective would allow his or her identification to be stolen. That is the boss's. No question about it. It can't be.
As I suspected, the undercover detective who attended the Red-Headed League's enrollment that day in question was the real Inspector Gregson, carrying out an incognito investigation.
No.
Zut alors!
It was the other
It was
guy
Daily
who
Vigil
had
who
killed
stole
him.
Yeah. Must be. Because they said he looked different, right? He can't have looked that
Yeah.
different.
He would have
they
had a
literally said like he was.
recognizable moustache.
Yeah, exactly. He can't have looked that different. Maybe he was investigating Daily Vigil. I don't know. Oh, da!
But if the boss had his identification stolen, he would have reported it straight away.
Still Crackles, by the way. But we can just.
Oh,
roll with
pee
it
pee
now.
poo poo.
I wonder.
I
Like,
could just
'cause-
restart. Wait, hang on. Am I
Okay.
crackling on my stream?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Am I
guess.
crackly to? Because then I guess that. I mean, if it's a cable or if it's just Discord being stinky.
Yeah.
No. Should I just restart Discord completely?
Yeah, might be safe. Might be safe.
Okay.
See you soon.
BRB.
Oh god. She's opening stuff on my computer too, help!
Hello.
Hello?
Is it crackly if I keep talking? Is it crackly? A crackle wap a pop a deep a dip
Not
bubble
so
bap
far.
deep fiddly flip bap boop.
Not so far. Flip, fiddly, flip, bap, boop. Yeah.
Maybe it's just Discord being odd.
Yeah, maybe. So far, you're good. I will let you
Okay.
know if you become more crackles later.
Okay.
Okay. Back to the game.
I mean, he was always on at me about it. If you lose something, report it at once, he'd say.
I always thought that was one of the weirdest slang things. Sumat as something. Like, why do you just remove the thing? And it's just, I can just summon. I can just summon because that's shortening of something. But sumat,
Something, summon.
that's always weird.
Yeah. Summit?
Summit? Could it be then that the inspector was physically unable to report it?
Physically, eh? What are you saying? Unable to. You're not suggesting.
Yes, it's quite possible that he was killed before he had the chance to report his identification stolen.
No.
Yes.
No.
Doesn't matter that you have two swords. I'm gonna beat you anyway. Order, order, order! The defense posits that the victim was killed the day before his body was discovered at a different location. You two have anything to say about that? Zutalo!
Wee. I don't know what that's meant to sound like. Wee.
Whee! I guess maybe.
Wee.
I like how that's it's like a reskin module of the other rich baby kid, the Bavarian
Oh
kid.
yeah,
Is the other one?
Bavarian prince.
Yeah, they do that often. Like they basically have a slight variation, but they use the same models and animations. But this guy has new animations with the eating and the cheering.
I know another thing aware. I done another thing aware.
Pull yourself together, Peppino. Mon Dieu, you can behave a little more like a master criminal than that, no?
Oh, wee. Now I wish I had to return to Italia. Wee.
Stop crying, Peppino, please. Otherwise,
Oh no! Wait,
Lume?
Lumi? Lum?
What the?
Lummy?
What?
Lumi?
Help?
Lum?
Englishmen, Brits in chat, help?
Vamp, do you know? Is this a Cockney word?
Inchia? What this? What?
Any Cockneys in chat?
Any Cockney enjoyers can explain what the hell Lume is?
Lummy? Lummy? Stop your whining and start talking.
Well, I believe the court will need to hear your story in considerably greater detail.
I know another thing. I done another thing.
Wah!
Wah! Wah! But you will tell everything or face the worst possible outcome.
Ugh. You will dry your eyes and testify again. Pronounced lummy, used to express surprise, interest, or approval, according to Merriam-Webster Dictionary. So just lummy.
Ooh,
Okay.
lummy.
About these identification papers and the precise circumstances under which you came by them.
Wah!
For crying out loud.
Why is Casimir in Van Zeek's spot? Because Van Zeek's is on trial.
Yeah.
He's charged with Moida.
Moida of Gregson. Feels bad, man.
Dun dun dun.
The truth is, we took him prisoner and kept him for the night at our secret hideout.
What?
What the hell? Even though I didn't think he was a real detective, I was too scared to let him go that day, just in case.
We took the man's identification from him and shut him in the room next to us.
There might have been a little tussle, but we did him no harm, and the next morning we let him go.
He spent the night in a nicer room. It was nothing like a prison. Wah!
Yeah, it was Daily Vigil. Because remember, Daily Vigil had been missing for a day. So that's why Daily Vigil was missing, because they took him. And for some reason, Daily had gotten Gregson's identification papers.
Yeah.
I don't know how he got them or why, but then he wanted to do something with Red-Headed League. And then he used that identification to prove that he was a police officer. Because remember that he wasn't anymore. He wasn't a warden, because he hadn't been a warden for 10 years. So, yeah.
Yeah, he'd been lying.
So we wouldn't have had any way to show that, you know? This is outrageous. You imprisoned the man?
But no, see, no, it was not like a prison. He was a very comfortable and a calm and a happy. Hey, Capo?
It was never part of my plan. I swear it.
Oof, so you think it was my fault, eh? Just because I got the date of the ferry wrong by one little a day.
I do not think it was your fault, Peppino. I know it.
No. Por favor, Capo. It's not fair.
You shall have plenty of time for squabbling back at the prison, gentlemen. Oof, I don't believe this. How could he have been a real detective? Counsel for defense, proceed with the cross-examination. Thing is, he wasn't a real detective. Don't you guys remember that they said he looked nothing like it? Are you just assuming they lied?
They didn't remember the mustache.
Yeah, or the thin
that would have
chin,
stood out.
and like he was very different.
And the chips.
And yeah.
Most importantly, the
So
chips.
Most importantly, the chips. So on the day before the incident, Gregson spent the night confined in the Spare's hideout. No, not Gregson. Daily Vigil.
Hold it!
Do you realize what you're saying?
Do.
You have to believe me. I never intended for that to happen. And I'm sure the detective did not intend it either. Do you think? But there was nothing else I could do.
See, nothing else. This wasn't the first crime for the Capo. It was at the end of his wits.
I have told you before, Peppino, that is not the way to describe a criminal mastermind.
What about this hideout of yours?
An old empty house behind the park on Lime Street.
We rented the place for 2 days. It was inspired by the Capo here.
An impulsive idea, I would say.
No, not impulsive, inspired. Eh, Capo?
What am I supposed to say to that, Peppino? And it was in the house described that you confined Inspector Gregson, was it? Oui. But you have to remember, I was under the impression that he was a pretender, not a real inspector. Doesn't quite add up, though. If you didn't think the man was a real inspector, there would have been no reason to take him prisoner, would there? No, you are right, but we couldn't be completely certain. And though I didn't think he was a real detective, I was too scared to let him go, just in case. Too scared? Why? Because why had he come to the park? We didn't know. There was a chance that he had seen through my plan.
And if that wasn't the case, he would go straight to the police station and blow the whistle on us. Even if he was just feigning to be an inspector, he was up to no good, eh? Without a doubt. I think most people would agree that it's you two who were up to no good. Well, see, you may be right, eh, Capo?
The point is, we were not able to escape from England immediately. That is why we had no choice but to take the man prisoner. What I don't understand is why the inspector felt the need to show you his identification in the first place.
See, I ask myself the same question.
We were writing down the names and addresses of all the people who you took 5 shillings from that day. I have forgotten what name he said, but the address, it startled me.
See, address, Scotland Yard, Homicide Division, he said.
What? So much for undercover. Probably didn't like your face, Peppino. Anyway, I was not rude. I just politely asked him why he had said it. And that's when he started to say he was an inspector. Not long afterwards, he took out his identification. So, ultimately, why was Daily Vigil there? Like, why was Daily there at all? And, like, involved with the Red-Headed League? Like, just for money? And why was he pretending he was a police investigator? Like, if anything, if he just went there for the money, right? Why pretend to be a cop? Why not just say, oh, I work as a farmer or whatever, you know? He must have had a reason for pretending to be Gregson. Maybe he was like trying to catch them and then get reinstated as a warden? No, I don't get it.
Briony said, I am Tobias Gregson. I'm a professional alive person at Scotland Yard. I'm very alive here. Hello.
I'm very alive, currently alive, living.
Tell the court what happened next. You took him back to your hideout, you say? See, we did.
Hold it!
That being this identification book here, correct?
See, that is the one.
What made you believe it was a forgery?
I never seen a real one, of course. But he was so suspicious, this man. Allora, I was thinking it must be falso, eh, Capo?
Oui, it is just as Peppino has said. We were convinced it was not genuine.
And so together, the hilarious brothers, we took the man captive.
All we did was shove him inside a locked room. Then we made preparations to transport all of the money. In for a penny, in for a pound.
Hold it!
What do you mean by a little tussle, exactly? Buff. It was nothing, just a minor incident.
The falso inspector, he was a real piece of a worker, they say. A piece of the work.
Piece
Capo?
of the work. Amazing. Piece of the work. What happened?
Oof, it was a disaster. We give him a nicer room, and what does he do, huh? In the middle of the night, he tries to escape through the ventilator.
Can you blame him? We chased him, bien sûr, and we caught him again.
Can you blame us?
Wait, you didn't shoot the man in your haste, did you? Zit! Who do you think we are? Of course not! Simply caught hold of him again and took him back to the room.
Oh.
Excuse me. Mr. DeRossi, something wrong.
Hey, me?
Something Mr. DeRosso just said seemed to make you, act even more strangely than usual. What was that all about?
Cavolo, at times like that you don't want to have the capo after you, believe me. I speak from personal experience.
Esperienza. Personal experience? That is enough, Peppino. There is no need to say more.
The truth is, the night before we put the Red-Headed League plan into action, I was scared. It was not fair to the capo, but I tried to run away.
It's a shame you didn't manage it.
But the capo here, he came after me like a turbine, huh? And he dragged me back to the house, kicking and screaming. I still have the bruises to prove it, eh, capo?
Bruises, you say?
Hey, you wanna see? You wanna see my fantastical bruises? Oh!
Wait, what? Have you thought of something?
Who else did we see that had that bruise around their neck? Someone else we've spoken to. It was one of the... Was it one of the vendors that was outside? Yeah, that guy.
The gossip
The big
about...
lip.
Yeah, he does. Wait a minute. Wasn't him... Maybe he's a pickpocket. And maybe it's him that did it and not Daly.
Maybe.
Maybe he's the one that pickpocketed Gregson's stuff.
Yeah.
Would you say that his hair is red? No, not really, right? It's
No.
brown. Barry Caden. I forgot that name. Barry Caden. He's not redheaded either. Daily. Ultimate evil guy. He does not look 53. But then again, it's Japanese art, so you know. We were supposed to believe that. Oh, never mind. Fabian de Rosa with Peppino de Rossi. Sandwich.
What did I do? I show you or I don't? I show you or I don't?
That's enough, Peppino. No one wants to look at any part of you.
You do, now. Allora, if everybody wants to see it, then I do it. Ecco, you see? It's still very visible, eh?
That red ring around your neck? You got that when you're dragged back to the house?
See, the capo, sometimes he is a very rough.
I said that's enough. Peppino's neck is nothing to do with what we are talking about, eh? You have my word. Yes. What is your opinion, Council? About this red ring around Mr. De Rossi's neck? Wonder, does it matter? It is very important. Mr. De Rossi, I'm going to have to ask you to amend your testimony with details about that mark on your neck.
Hey, capo, you see? Everyone is interested in what they say, huh?
Ugh. Very well. You will amend your testimony. You will amend your testimony as requested, Mr. De Rossi.
See, if you really wanted to know.
You can say this line because you technically haven't said it before.
Oh, he tried to escape, but the capo put the collar on him and dragged him back like he did it to me, see?
Hold it!
Are you saying that red mark was caused by...
See, a big collar made from a leather.
a leather collar? Wait,
Is
didn't
this
we
true?
find something like that? Or am I completely off my mark? I'm completely off my mark.
Are you thinking, you're thinking of the big collar we found to do with the Hounds of the Baskerville case?
Yes, I am.
Is this true?
What? We had the Saint Bernard at home when I was younger. It is a souvenir from that time with a very strong chain.
A strong chain?
And you put that around your friend's neck. I'm sorry. I was so angry that he was leaving me alone.
You did not have to tie the chain to the leg of a bed, so, huh?
My
I would not
God.
have tried to run again.
You didn't do that to Inspector Gregson as well, did you?
Treat the people equal is the capo's motto, eh?
Treat the people are equal.
It's starting to sound a lot more like a prison all of a sudden. The capo is a tough, but the capo is a rough.
I shouldn't have done it. So, the following morning when you released the inspector...
He added a red ring around his neck, just like me.
Peppino, s'il vous plaît, leave it now.
Now you know, the capo here, you don't want to tangle with him, eh? But for the inspector, it's not so bad.
We'll finish pressing this, but ultimately then I want to, like, present the photograph to show that he doesn't have a red ring. Because he doesn't,
Yeah.
surely, right? Yeah, I mean, as far as we can see, at least.
Yeah.
Hold it!
You took away the man's freedom. However comfortable you make it sound, you were still holding him prisoner.
If you say I like that, then I say I like this. There is something that takes away our freedom too, the lack of money. So we are the prisoners as well, huh? All of us.
Huh?
No money, no freedom. This is the truth.
I feel that, DeRossi. I feel that in my soul.
It makes me mad. It makes me sad. What can we do?
Well,
If you feel so disenfranchised, take money to court. Though it will cost you, of course. Oof, there you have it. You see? That is why we need the Red-Headed League, to fight for the justice.
perhaps he has a point.
No, Mr. Naruhodo.
I don't know.
All-
I'm starting to believe in this.
All we did was give to the man a comfortable place to sleep for the night. And you say it was a prisoner? Huh?
Perhaps he has a point again.
No again, Mr. Naruhodo. You should have heard them snoring. My day, it was if anyone was disturbed, it was us.
Not much to go on, really.
Their testimony does make me wonder, you know. About this pocket watch belonging to the inspector, I mean.
Yes, the one he treasured so much, apparently.
If he was confined but not restrained, as the witnesses are implying, he would still have been able to wind his watch.
That's very true, yes. So did the Inspector Gregson actually die while he was being held captive by these redheads?
In which case, is it possible that these two young men are responsible for Inspector Gregson's?
To be honest, I find that hard to believe. But we should try to find out exactly what happened.
Very wise, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes.
Okay, I think we go to this one and present the photograph.
Objection!
So the day before his body was discovered, Inspector Gregson was taken prisoner while working incognito. No, it was not like that. It was hardly a prison. It was an invitation to stay. It was only. However you describe it, there's one glaring inconsistency that remains. What inconsistency is this, counsel? I would ask the court to look closely at this photograph of the victim, Inspector Gregson. You will see that there is no red ring visible around his neck.
Eh? But that don't make no sense. It was me who took the collar off in the man in the morning. And I saw the red bruises on his neck, just like I have.
Given that the mark is still clearly visible on this witness's neck, we'd expect to see the bruising on the victim, who was put in the collar more recently than Mr. DeRossi. Indeed, that is most peculiar.
What we tell you, huh? Huh? We say this from the beginning. Many times.
Oui, Pepino is right. The man in the photograph. He is someone different to the man we held captive that night. I told you it was this daily vigil fellow or possibly this gossip man. It was not this other guy. Oda!
It would appear then that on the day before the incident, the man who visited the park on Lime Street posing as an incognito inspector was not Inspector Gregson at all.
Objection!
If that's true, however, how do you explain the inspector's identification? This is a genuine identification book issued by Scotland Yard. It's inconceivable that someone could have stolen such an important item from the inspector. The prosecution made that assertion itself.
And we also know that the inspector had made a note about the Red-Headed League in his diary for that day. Which surely means we can't divorce the two events completely.
The inconsistency noted by the defense is most troubling. If it were the real Inspector Gregson whom these two red-headed gentlemen encountered, The fact that no bruising can be seen around his neck defies explanation.
But equally, if they actually encountered an imposter, how did that person come to be in possession of the real inspector's identification?
Does the defense have some plausible explanation, counsel? The whole thing defies explanation.
It is for precisely these occasions that we keep meticulous notes in the courtroom, Mr. Naruhodo. Because those are the facts, and the facts cannot lie.
No, the facts can't lie, even when they point to something so incredible it's almost unbelievable. Well, my lord, the true identity of the person who turned up in the park for the Red-Headed League's enrollment is revealed by information in the court record, I believe. Well, good gracious!
Very tantalizing, Mr. Naruhodo. So why don't you help us all to see whatever the truth it is that you've apparently seen? Who exactly was this inspector that appeared before Mr. DeRusso and Mr. DeRossi?
Gregson himself! No. Though it seems incredible, I admit, the undeniable facts point to only one thing. Since no bruising can be seen on the victim's neck, the person who these two red-headed men took prisoner that day cannot have been Inspector Gregson.
In other words, your whole argument up to now has been a waste of time.
Objection!
On the contrary, I haven't finished.
What?
There's no bruising on the victim's neck, so the question immediately posed next is, who exactly was this man at the park in Lime Street found to be carrying Inspector Gregson's identification?
See, that's alright. We tell the same story every time. Whoever this man was, the capo dragged him from a pillar to a post with the dog collar.
Mon Dieu, Pepino, I was not so harsh as you say, huh?
So who was that falso inspector, eh? Who was he? Clearly the defense has an idea about that. About the true identity of the man who these two imprisoned that night.
I must ask the counsel for the defense to elaborate post-haste. Who did the witnesses encounter in the park, posing as Inspector Gregson? I was thinking it was Daly, right? But it might not be. This might just be a picture of him. Like, obviously, we can't tell. Like, there's a slight shadow underneath his chin, but I don't think that's it. But he clearly 100% has one, this guy.
Yeah.
So I think it has to be him. Even though I'm more suspicious about Daly than I am about this random guy, but yeah.
Take that!
Goodness me! Isn't that one of the witnesses who was in the stand this very courtroom earlier today? A nameless man whose only occupation appears to be peddling hearsay to passers-by.
What on earth would a street seller be doing with a police inspector's identification papers? Witnesses, is this the man or not?
What has happened to his lip? Ah.
See, this a man that was not for the red-headed league, eh? He's a-looking for the twisted lip league, no? Perhaps rather than making such a rash claim next time, you should bite your lip instead.
It seems improbable, yes, but one undeniable fact remains. During his testimony earlier, I noted something around the man's neck, a red ring of bruising. Eh?
What?
Actually, it was Briony who remembered it. I had forgotten. The defense demands that Mr. Gossip be brought back to the stand. Order! Order! Bailiff, bring the aforementioned witness back into the courtroom. Immediately. Bum, ba-dum, bum.
Hey.
We are a red ring party, so look, both of us have had a red ring, Bruce. Well, I never. An undeniable ring of bruising indeed. And identical to that of the witness beside him. Know what's going on here, eh? I've always had this, me. It's a birthmark, isn't it? Isn't it? A birthmark, you say?
I assume the reason you've been recalled to the stand has been explained to you.
some about an inspector again. But I'm telling ya, you got it all wrong as usual. You're denying all knowledge of it? Well, of course I am. Are you trying to kill me with all this nonsense, eh?
Well, at least you'll have more stories to peddle back on Fresno Street, won't you? Now, we're going to need you to testify again.
And you, Mr. De Rousseau and Mr. De Rossi, I'm sure you'll cooperate, won't you? Do we have any choice?
We ain't big a trouble, eh, Capel?
That's quite enough dilatory chatter. Proceed with the testimony.
I'm gonna quickly run through a wee...
Yeah, I was just about to say I'm gonna do the same. So, BRB in a bit, guys. Entertain yourselves, guys.
Yeah! BRB. Hello? Ooh. Oh, poo. Oh, I didn't put my thingy in my doodah. I didn't put the cable in my light. This won't be a problem soon, thanks to all of you. I won't need a cable in my doo-doo. Hansan, do you have any idea when it's going to arrive? 'Cause I'm in the office tomorrow. If it's that soon. If not, that's fine. Apparently it's on the way to the office now. Oh, jeez. Got too excited. And we've got a shipping confirmation. I can pick it up tomorrow. Exciting. Oh, look at that big yawn. Oh, he's a sleepy boy. A sleepy boy. He's a sleepy boy. He is one in brackets, one sleepy boy. Do you want to see Jerry being rude? Will I be able to pop this out? Who did I send it to? Pim. Can you pop out videos? I don't want to accidentally show my... Hang on.
Hello, I'm back.
Hello.
Hello.
Just about to watch a video of Jerry being naughty.
Oh, I will have to look up your stream. There we go. Okay, what's happening?
Wait. Oh, jeez, my voice. Hang on, is there anything I can't show of... No, this should be fine.
Yeah.
So, here he is. He sits on this bed because he wants his treat at night.
Is that
wait, do I have the sound turned up?
Bed?
Yeah, the treats are in this chest here, so he'll sit there and he'll ask for one.
Okay, chat, I'm going to turn off the volume on Briony's stream so I can hear this, so this might be annoying for you guys.
And then Fionn jumps up. That noise there, when she jumps down, the noise is Jerry grunting at her because he's a rude, naughty boy.
He does a grunt.
He does. He's like... And like Fifi like peeks in like, can I have one?
And he's like, okay.
Yeah. Yesterday when he was sat on his bed having them, and Fifi jumped up and jumped down, and he was like, both times. Oh, you can't hear the grunt. Oh no.
Yeah, I couldn't really
I've got
hear
it set to the loudest. Wait, if I turn... This will make Rythian very loud, but I'll turn this up to
Say
full.
anything. I'll keep quiet.
Okay. Did you hear it then? I've turned you back down. You're fine. It just goes...
I decided to not listen to your stream anymore because it was
Ah!
because I could hear you twice and hear myself twice, and it wasn't.
Oh, that's
right,
true. I
so,
forget
yeah.
that that's a thing.
So the only solution is for you to send me the video. That's the only way it would work.
Yes.
Yeah.
That
And
I
then
can
listen.
do. Jerry
Then I
boy.
can see if there's any.
Jerry boy. He is a Jerry boy. Which video is it? There we go. Okay, it's sending over now. I'll also send you a picture of him getting kisses last night.
That sounds good to me.
Because he's a special prince.
Okay.
There you go.
All right,
A baby boy. Oh, Jerry.
Murr. Okay, I heard
No, he
that
does
this time.
proper little
Boy.
grunt noises.
No, Jerry. No, Jerry.
He's such a grumpy boy. Like, I never heard him made that noise until we got Fifi. And now he grunts every day so many times. He tells her off all the time. Like a little monster. He puts up with it.
Yeah, well,
Grunty old man, he
a
is.
grunty old man. Yeah. Let me just double check something.
You have a nice wee?
It was fine. It did what it needed to do.
Nice. I just realised something I needed to add to the shopping list, so I'm distracted putting in a Tesco order.
Okay. What are you ordering?
I realised we need what's it called? Kitchen roll.
Ah, that is important.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. All
I'm
righty,
good
right.
now.
I am also good now. Let us get back to the game.
Okay.
The man who claimed to be an inspector that day is definitely not this man.
He's right, see? You think we would have forgotten those grand lips, huh?
Oh, never need Fresno Street, all right? I've no interest in any red-headed league. I'm all alone in the world. Me, I've no kinfolk or nothing. Why would I be involved in something like that? Just look at me, eh? Doesn't look like I could carry off a disguise with a face like this. Sorry about your face, friend.
Oh.
It would certainly appear that we have the wrong man. What have I been telling you, huh? There was no need for this pointless testimony. That's right. Oh, I'm just a simple peddler, remember? Fresno Street's all I know. How would I have come by a police inspector's identification book, eh? Well, yes, that's hard to explain, but... A brief cross-examination, I think, counsel. Very brief. Isn't there anyone in this courtroom who thinks I might be onto something?
I stand steadfastly at your side as always, Mr. Naruhodo.
Dot, 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 dot.
Hold it!
So you say, but how can you be quite so certain? There is no need to hurt your hands on the desk, monsieur. Surely the reason is obvious, no? Because I have never before seen lips like this. Nevertheless, there's a clear red marker on Mr. Gossip's neck. And it looks very much like that left behind on the neck of your colleague by your prized collar. Mon Dieu, with your words, it's like you tried to wring my neck.
It does look like a my neck, though, eh?
No, this is a birthmark, lad. Biggest lips in London and a neck to die for. Aye, they broke the mold when they made me. It was the first time in my life. I feel lucky to have been born with red hair. And I thought being Japanese made you stand out in London.
So you maintain that you've never seen this man before?
Oui, c'est cas. Assured by the flames of my hair. So fierce pride has outgrown the frustration with your hair now, has it?
Hold it!
Okay then. So, either this guy has very rapidly changed his look via the lip.
He's got an allergic reaction or something.
Yeah. Do you think this guy is Daily Vigil?
I was wondering that because they do both have sort of like curly-ish hair. Like the...
They have the same
the hair colors
kind of
different,
style.
isn't
They have the frilly stuff up at the end. Same shaped head.
He's got a bum.
He's got a little bit of butt
bow.
chin.
Yeah.
But like, and also like much larger eyes
Yeah.
and
I
different
think they
eyebrows.
purposely made them very different.
Yeah, and the nose is super different too. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I was just throwing out a wild theory. Because I really feel like he's involved.
Yeah. This is what I'm saying. For some reason, it makes me want to eat. How did Fabian call it? An eclair. What? You know, I've never seen the hair as black as yours either before.
Likewise, I'd never seen red hairs like yours until I came to Britain.
See, maybe it's a national trait, eh? Maybe other people from this Amanda country have the grander lips.
No, lad. I was born right here on Fresno Street, and I've never left.
Oof, that is the problem, see?
So you definitely didn't go to the park on Lime Street that day, Mr. Gossip. Now, how many times do you want me to say it, eh?
Hold it!
So, you'd heard of the Red-Headed League, had you? You don't got a name like Gossip for nothing, eh? It's my business to know what's going off in town. I saw that tasty tidbit for a fair few redheads that came past me. Just between us, I even got sandwich to cup up for it.
Well, he does have a very red nose, if that counts.
Who knows? But as you can see, my own hair's not got a hint of red in it. In any case, Fresno Street's my patch. You won't catch me sidling off some other part of town. No, sir, not likely.
Ooh.
I'm a little bit annoyed that whenever we're telling the story, I never really get to hear the audio cue because I'm always talking over it, you know? Every time I hear it.
Oh.
I wish you could hear the sound.
Excuse me!
Excuse me! Mr. De Rousseau! Oui? Can I help you? Did Mr. Gossip's words just now lead you to remember something relevant, perhaps? It was the other day when I was looking for a place near the park, as a mall house or something.
To be the headquarters of your red-headed league, yes.
I visited an housing agent on Lime Street, and there I saw him. This man was paying money to the agent. What? Mr. Gossip with a housing agent? He had some kind of contract in his hand and they were clearly discussing terms. But no, you're mistaken, chum. Oh, I've never left Fresno Street, me. Like I said before, you're mistaking me for someone else, someone with the same face.
No, the capo is right. I remember it too. He was paying the man with the banknotes. With notes?
Like I said, that wasn't me.
I was curious why this man with the dirty clothes had so much money. So I looked into the name on the papers.
And what name was written? Mr. Gossip?
No, this man, he lies. He tells you that he has no name. But in fact, his name is Hugh Boone, huh?
Hugh
He's better than Mr.
Boone.
Gossip, I think, see? Oh.
Hugh Boone. That's the guy who owned the apartment. No!
Oh, jeez.
So Hugh Boone isn't an alias after all. I'm a peddler of tidbits and information, like I said. On Fresno Street. And that's that. I don't like folk talking about my personal life. I cannot do his accent for the life of me. Indeed. It is not the intention of the court to invade the privacy of witnesses. Very well, I shall respect your wishes, sir. The aforementioned name shall be redacted from all court records of this trial, assuming no objections. Oh, but there is an objection. I'm sorry, my lord, but the defense does object. Because the name just mentioned has a very deep significance to this case. Good gracious! Do you similarly object, Professor Asogi? Prosecutor Asogi?
As it happens, my lord, that particular name has already been mentioned during today's proceedings.
Well, I never. In what capacity?
Hugh Boone. The name of the leaseholder of the room.
Let me put this very simply. The victim's body was discovered in your rented room.
I suggest, sir, that you start talking.
Well, alright. I suppose that might be the case, That pose. So your real name is Hugh Boone. Well, just between us, I don't like to blow my own trumpet, but there's no finer peddler tidbits in town. So I happen to be able to afford a grubby little room in a fallen down backstreet townhouse. You do? Once every 6 months, I go and pay the rent to the agent on Lime Street. Oh, I remember now. There were 2 vulgar redheads in there last time.
Hey, if either of us is a vulgar, it's not me.
Zinc again, Peppino?
Why didn't you bring this up before?
It's like I told you already. I don't like talking about my personal life. I'm a tidbit peddler as far as everyone else is concerned. No fuss. I'm gonna have to change his accent a little bit. It's just going in and out. But you can tell he's supposed to have that accent. He's saying in it and stuff. So, like
Yeah.
I'm not a trained voice actor, I'm afraid. If I must, yes. He shall become very prim and proper all of a sudden.
So the leaseholder Scotland Yard has been looking for since the body was discovered. Has been here under our noses all along.
I rent the room where that fella was found, it's true. For what difference it makes.
Hold it!
So, you live in that room presumably, do you? No, I don't live there. What do you think? There's no bed, is there? Just a desk. Then why would you want to rent it? Well, I don't think I should have to say, really.
Then how about the notice board in there? Which was covered from top to bottom in confidential documents only the police should have access to.
Maybe Boone is like Gregson's CI, his confidential informant, something.
Oh.
maybe Gregson went to talk to Boone about stuff, and
His
he's
man
been
on
keeping
the
track of
street.
things. Yeah. No, that board's not mine. The inspector must have brought it along. It's only the other bits and bobs that belong to me. The desk and the chair and that. People don't generally carry enormous notice boards around with them. The real question is, why was Inspector Gregson killed there in your room? Well, obviously, I've not the faintest idea. I mean, it's causing me no end of bother, to be honest.
It seems to me. It seems to me. Sorry, Mr. Boone.
These small typos.
He would rather as little is known about his room as possible for some reason. Probably because
Yes,
a murder occurred there.
Maybe. Yes, it does come across that way. And more importantly, knowing that the scene of the crime is actually his room completely changes things. In particular, there's one part of his testimony that's really bothering me now. That's how I'm finally going to undo this man. Can we present on this one? About him how he showed up? Maybe this one? I have no kinfolk, and then we show this one?
But that's Daly's wife, isn't it?
Is
yeah,
it, though?
because it's in the room. Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Yes.
We can press for this one too, but yeah. You mean you have no family? No, none at all. So I spend my days on Fresno Street, peddling tidbits to passers-by, hoping, just between us this is, that eventually someone else with lips like mine will come along. What the
I
hell?
don't think so.
You may be right. Anyway, that mark on your neck is just too much of a coincidence for us to ignore. Well, what's a fella to do then, eh? You don't believe me? We're at an impasse. There's nothing I can do but flick my lip. Looks like I'm not going to get anywhere here unless I can produce some proof. You're basically saying I got dressed up and posed as some fancy inspector, aren't you? Well, it's beyond me how you think I could do that.
Hold it!
Maybe you could, say, with a mustache or a beard to cover up that lip. Aye, perhaps. But if I was going to stick some fake facial hair on to cover up this fine specimen, I'd end up looking like his lordship over there, wouldn't I? Pardon? I assure you my lips are entirely unremarkable. And I would ask you not to
I've
cast such
heard
scrutinizing looks in my
otherwise.
direction, Castle. Oh, yeah? Legendary great kisser. Sorry, my lord. I imagine you should got the better of me there.
Well, Inspector Gregson did wear a moustache, of course.
You're right, he did. So perhaps he was hiding something himself.
He could barely have hidden a crumb in a moustache of that size. Or a chip.
And anyway, the detective we spoke with had no facial hair at all. It is Daily Vigil! I swear it's Daily Vigil.
Yeah.
It certainly seems beyond the own possibility that this witness could have disguised himself as the victim. Aye, it does and it is. That's the extent of their testimony, is it?
What's your feeling, Mr. Narrowholder?
Well, what Mr. Boone says is undeniable. It would be all but impossible to hide those lips with any form of disguise.
Perhaps, yes. But nonetheless, the mark around his neck is equally undeniable. And it's identical to the one that Mr. De Rossi suffered.
Yes, that's true. But why does this whole disguise idea just keep playing on my mind? It's either the picture of the woman on this, or it's something on
Yeah.
this one. Because this is the statement that was just appeared, I think. What can we possibly present for
Yeah.
this one? What difference it makes?
Well, I guess that's nothing we can refute because he does rent that room.
Yeah.
So it must be the family one.
I'll try this one, then.
Kinfolk.
But it this might not be his wife or like anything at all, but it says it literally says Miss Vigil is found on the desk, but it's his room.
Yeah.
This might be wrong.
Objection.
Yeah, not promising.
Apupa?
Ding. No distinctive facial features. They didn't talk about him, right? I feel like it has to be this one, but I don't know what to rent. Rumor the fellow was found.
Oh wait, guy says it was on the room statement, not the family statement.
Oh, so we meant to present this one?
Yeah.
Really?
Objection.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Ah.
Good. So we had the right idea. We just pressed the wrong thing. Something like that, by the way, is good if you let us know. Because otherwise
Yeah.
we would have moved on
We'd
with
just
the like,
try
oh, we
everything
did,
on
we
everything
did present
else.
it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Thank you, Heather, as well. If you have no kinfolk, as you put it, then explain why it is that among the sparse furnishings, we found this photograph in the room. Ah! I presume, as you've been renting the room, that this photograph belongs to you, does it not? Oh, well... Mr. Boone, drop the pretense and tell the court exactly who you are. So he is Daly, but they look so different. They look so different.
I guess is that the point, that all of that is a disguise to make him look really different?
I guess the photo might be old.
I reckon he's
like-
going to pull off his face and he'll be him.
Because the lip might have swollen up for some reason, right? And maybe the nose, because like they have the same ears and hair. Ears and hair. Ears and hair. Hair, hair.
They got completely
Ears and
different
hair.
eyebrows.
But they
and
have different
eyes.
eyebrows and their nose is very different. He's got more of a button
Yeah.
nose, at least in this picture. Now, if you go back here, you can see it's not quite a super button nose. It's a little bit, but it's like all red and like stubby, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know what you mean. What do you mean? Oh, I'm a peddler. I keep telling you so. You really don't need to bother with me. Please, just leave it alone.
As the man says, leave it alone. Whatever the truth about this man is about this man's life, it has no bearing on this case. Because it's simply not possible that he impersonated Inspector Gregson.
How can you be so sure?
Just look at the man. No amount of disguise could ever hide those unmissable features.
But what if we were to look at this the other way around?
What do you mean?
Maybe it's like you said. Like, what he's wearing now is the disguise. Because normally he looks like Daly. Yes, counsel, what do you mean? Well, there's no denying that Mr. Boone's lip is very prominent indeed. But consider the possibility that his prominent lip is itself part of an elaborate disguise. Then hiding that prominent feature, in other words, revealing his true face, would make an utterly impenetrable disguise. Very nice. It's like, well, I don't want to say it because it's a huge spoiler, but, I can't say it. So there's an early scene in The Prestige where the two magicians go to see an old magician who does crazy, like a third magician who does crazy things, and they can't figure out how he does it. And then they figure out eventually that the reason he can do the crazy thing even though it looks like he's in such bad shape, he's walking very slowly and all hunchbacked and stuff, is because he actually is in great shape, and he is not like he's very agile and very dexterous. He's just
whole
in the
life
rest
is
of
a
his life.
disguise.
His entire thing like it is. So this is very much the same case. Like he's always wearing a disguise, and then when he takes it off, that's when he's unmistakable. It's like if I were to shave my beard, my mustache, and then take off my glasses and dye my hair, like that, then I would look different. Well, actually, that's not the same thing at all, because that would be a disguise. But it would be taking off. Well, never mind. And people understand what I'm talking about. I don't know why I'm talking about this. It's fine. Everyone knows. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Hugh Boone? Ah, that spin. Order, good witness. Are you still hiding the truth from this court?
If that's a disguise, then underneath it, his true identity must be...
Yes, that's right. There's really only one person he could be. My lord, the defense believe they can reveal Mr. Boone's true identity to the court. No. Please, no. Very well then, counsel. What is the true identity of this peddler who goes simply by the name of Gossip on the streets?
Take that!
Your real name is actually Mr. Vigil, isn't it? Mr. Daily Vigil. Yeah. I don't recall that name, counsel. Who is this Mr. Vigil? It's a name I encountered yesterday, my lord. It has to do with a certain client of Mr. Herlock Sholmes. A young gentlewoman came to the detective asking him to locate her missing husband. The woman in this photograph, in fact. This is Mrs. Vigil.
What?
Like Kaiser Soze. Yeah? Yeah, that's something. Yeah. He acts a certain way on his life, and that entire life is a disguise. So then they don't get suspicious in a certain way. From what I understand, you haven't returned home since the night before the inspector was found dead. But of course, on that night, you were being held captive by the two red-headed league men.
And last night, you were put up by the prosecution service in preparation for testifying in this trial. Because we'd been led to believe that you, Miss Venus, and Mr. Sandwich were all homeless. Being important witnesses in this case, we needed to know where we could find you, of course.
And that explains why you've not only been unable to return home, but also unable to contact your wife, who's been beside herself with worry, waiting for you at the Vigil residence. No, just you hold on a minute. I don't know the first idea what I'm talking about. Really? It's a simple enough matter to confirm my suspicions. All I have to do is pull off that lip. What if it's a real lip? Oh no! No, please. Bailiff, bring soap, a sponge, and a wash bowl at once. Mr. Rousseau and Mr. Rossi, you will restrain the witness. Oui, my lord.
Si, my lord.
No! Stop! Get off! Don't! It is him. It is him. It just fell off. It just fell off. Well, we are now seeing your true features, I presume. Oh, I changed his clothes real quick. That was instant. It didn't say a sentence to change his clothes. Yeah.
Lift your head, sir, so the court can see your face.
It would appear that the defense counsel was entirely correct. This has all been a very elaborate deception. So, witnesses, tell the court. Have you seen this man before? I don't believe it, but...
See, there's a no question. This is the inspector we saw in the park.
Extraordinary. On the day of the Red-Headed League enrollment, the man claiming to be Inspector Gregson who appeared before Mr. Rousseau and Mr. Rossi in the park.
Was you disguised as the inspector, or rather, was you posing as the inspector in no disguise at all?
Mr. Vigil was formerly employed as the chief warder at Barclay Prison. The chief warder? Then your career had promise. Why, you would quite possibly have become the future governor of the prison. What on earth have you been doing peddling tittle-tattle on Fresno Street? Well, it's been 10 years since Mr. Vigil worked at the prison.
It's been
10 years since he worked at prison. Yeah.
10 years?
I'm really dreadfully sorry about all this. Yes, it's true. I am daily vigil.
And you were the chief warder at Barclay Prison 10 years ago. So where did Mr. Hugh Boone come from?
Boone is, the other me. It's a name I invented. Well, evidently there's a great deal under the surface here. I'll explain everything. I'll tell you just how wretched my life has become. As you say, it was 10 years ago now that my employment at Barclay's chief warder came to an end. Having left the prison service, I searched for some new occupation by which to earn a wage. But times were hard in London, and I found no suitable engagements at all. In desperation one day, I turned my hand at selling wares on Fresno Street. But your wife appears to know nothing of this. She still maintains that you are the chief warder at Barclay Prison. I was utterly determined that my wife should not know of my failings, which is why I have never told her. I opened an account at the bank under the name of Hugh Boone, and I rented the cheapest room I could find on Fresno Street. The scene of the very crime we're investigating. Yes, that's right. A place from which I could emerge every morning at 8 as a squalid peddler, and transform myself back every evening at 5 into a well-dressed man about town before returning home. That quickly became my daily routine.
I was puzzled by the lack of furniture in the room. But that explains it.
Well, why on earth didn't you just tell us this in the first place? I have a wife, sir, and 2 sons, and without wishing to sound self-conceited, they regard me with some pride. I couldn't bring myself to disappoint them. So instead you decided to conceal your occupation from them? Yes. I've made such a terrible mess of everything.
Still, one thing doesn't add up. No matter how many tidbits of information you could sell to passing gentlemen, even at 6 pence apiece. You couldn't hope to match the salary you must have commanded as chief warder at the prison.
Very true. To have kept your family in comfort despite 10 years of somewhat misbegotten employment. That was all thanks to Inspector Gregson. What? Inspector Gregson? What on earth? It was some years after I'd invented Boone and begun my other life as a street seller. He, the inspector that is, recognized me one day. Do you mean to say the victim was an acquaintance of yours? I knew him from my time working at the prison. When he saw what I'd become, he was deeply troubled for me and my family. And from that day forward, he visited me on Fresno Street with increasing regularity. Then one day, he asked me if I would carry out a secret assignment for him. A secret? What was it? I was to impersonate the inspector.
What? Impersonate him?
We always met in that little room so the inspector could brief me.
Visit Auxie's tomorrow and take a statement from the proprietress.
There was always something along those lines. Surveillance work, interviewing people. On those occasions, he would lend me his identification so people would believe who I was. My instructions were to make an impression, to let people know that Inspector Gregson had been at work. And for those services, he compensated me financially. A Scotland Yard inspector willingly relinquishes identification into your care with intent to deceive. That, as I'm sure I need not point out, is a very serious criminal offence.
But why? What was the point of you impersonating him?
Maybe he wanted to be, to give himself an alibi while he did something else.
Yeah,
So,
I was thinking that.
he was doing something elsewhere, but then Daly stopped doing anything, and then they're like, well, Gregson has an alibi. He was over here doing this at the time. You can see it right here on the side. And the witness says it was,
Yeah, the witness saw the identification. It must be him.
Yeah. I truthfully do not know. All I can say is that the inspector warned me on numerous occasions.
Now remember, Vigil, I need your solemn word. You don't blab about this to anyone, all right? Ever. Even if I end up a croaker.
In time, he started to bring papers with him to the room as well. It became something of a second office for him. So, in fact, the person who declared himself to be Inspector Gregson at the park on Lime Street was really... Yes, it was me, acting on the inspector's orders. As usual, I removed my boon disguise, and then went as instructed to the park, armed with the inspector's identification book. It never occurred to me that the bruise on my neck might give me away. That's a good twist, by the way.
But then who killed Gregson?
Yeah,
'Cause I thought it was
because
him.
now he seems to really like Gregson, so
Yeah.
we're still after an actual criminal,
Well,
unless it was a mistake.
it would seem this confession completely destroys the defense's case.
Explain yourself, Prosecutor Sogi.
My learned friend's assertion was as follows. The victim was killed at another location on the day before his corpse was discovered. At the hands of these two red-headed League men when they imprisoned the inspector.
Ow! No, that can't be. After all, it wasn't the inspector who went to the park that day, it was me.
Oh, goodness.
Finally, we have clarity. We had nothing to do with the murder of the inspector. And merci, Monsieur de la Défense, for presenting it. Wow! Order! 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 Indeed, it would appear that we have reached a de facto conclusion of sorts. These witnesses had no involvement in the murder of the victim. As proven somewhat ironically by the defense. Ugh. I hereby call an end to the cross-examination.
Hold it!
Kazuma.
Pardon me, my lord, but with your permission, I would like to pose one further question to the witness.
Kazuma? What question, counsel?
It concerns the events of 10 years ago. I believe you would have been present at a very significant execution that was carried out at the time.
10 years ago? The execution of the professor. Genshin Asogi.
I want to know exactly what your involvement was.
Oh,
Answer me, man.
one moment, Counsel. Is this related to the current case?
Naturally. It is the prosecution's belief that this case and the events of 10 years ago are intrinsically linked.
Close enough.
Intrinsically.
Inextricably.
Inextricably.
Intelligently.
Oh, yeah.
Instinctually linked. Intelligently linked. Intimately linked. There's a lot of words we could use there, honestly. Does the defense concur, Counsel? Kazuma, you're not yourself. You're not as calm and collected as usual.
Oh, Kazuma-sama. No wonder he's acting this way. Mr. Vigil's memories of what happened 10 years ago would tell the tale of Genshin Asogi's last moments. His own father.
I know. I do understand that, but even so... Prosecutor Asogi, do you genuinely believe that this question requires an answer in order to learn the truth behind Inspector Gregson's death?
I need you to trust me, please.
Very well, and the defense has no objection. I see. In that case, you will answer the question, witness. The truth is, I remember very little of that time.
You've forgotten?
I'm sorry to say, yes. As I said, I resigned from my role at the prison 10 years ago. But for some peculiar reason, my memory of the events leading up to that moment is extremely hazy.
Does that not strike you as strange, Mr. Naruhodo?
Sorry?
Well, 10 years is a long time. But to have forgotten the reason why he left such an important job.
Yes, you're right. And not only that, Mr. Vigil's claim contradicts what we already know.
The human spirit is a fragile thing. It's broken all too easily. Which is why we have a tendency to wrap it up for protection.
Sorry? The human spirit? I'm afraid I don't understand what you mean.
When we experience pain and suffering that we feel unable to bear, we block it out, obliterate it from our memories, seal it away. But it never truly leaves us. If the seal is broken, the memories resurface. And when they do, that fragile spirit may finally be crushed.
But I really don't.
Kazuma-sama. But if it must be crushed, then so be it, because the truth will not stay buried. It's coming out one way or another.
Right. Now I understand. It's clear what his intentions are. He means to expose the truth at any cost. Perhaps if I pointed out the contradiction in what Mr. Vigil claimed earlier, it might cause some crucial memories to return to him. Should I? Should I present the evidence or not? Always go for the truth. We always need the truth. I have no idea how this is going to go. This is a court of law, and I have a duty to pursue the truth. Mr. Vigil, I'd like you to look at this. Evidence that clearly contradicts your version of events.
Yeah.
Yeah, aiding and abetting the escape.
Take that!
Just a few moments ago, you made the following statement. I resigned from my role at the prison 10 years ago. Well, yes. In other words, you claim to have left the post of chief warder of your own volition. Well, yes, of course. Why? Tell me. Do you remember seeing this document before? No, I don't. This is a dismissal notice ordering the immediate termination of a prison staff member's employment.
A dismissal notice?
And the name on the notice is yours, Mr. Vigil. What? What? It's mine?
So you didn't resign from the prison services at all? Oh, hang on, there's a knock at the door.
Okay.
BRB.
Alrighty. Maybe it's a delivery person. Maybe someone's delivering chips. I could go for some chips. Guys, what are you having for dinner tonight? I think I'm gonna have a bunless burger with some salad. I think that's the plan. Or if I can't be as making it, just maybe some gyros chicken. Is it called gyros? You need to look at Briony's stream. Okay. Oh my god. Hello. Hello, Jerry. Oh, I heard myself. Sniff, sniff, sniff. Is it Jerry or is it Fion?
Hello.
It's Fifi, isn't it? On Buncam.
Fifi? Yeah. Very close to Buncam.
Yeah, so close up and it's a little bit blurry, so I couldn't quite make out the colors correct. But
There's the full screen if you...
okay,
But
yeah.
this time, she always just like sits right next to it. I think because she knows I'm about to come downstairs and let her out, so she's
So
just like
she's just
waiting by the
waiting.
fence.
Yeah. Nice. All right, well, let's finish up then. I think this line is yours.
For some reason, you were dismissed as chief warder from Berkeley.
No, there's been some mistake. I'm sure I tendered my resignation. This dismissal notice is nonsense. Really, this voice should actually be kind of how I voice Ryunosuke. But I've gotten more normal Rudian voice for Naruhodo mostly. Isn't it?
If you were forcibly dismissed, there must have been a good reason. Clearly, you did something. Mr. Vigil, it's time to break the seal and have you remember. According to the few remaining records...
This is new music.
Oh yeah. It's sort of spooky music.
Yeah.
The final execution that you supervised was on the 17th of June, 10 years ago. And on that day, something very serious took place at Berkeley Prison.
The 17th of June. Was that the professor's execution? Professor.
As you were chief warder at the time, it stands to reason that you would have been present throughout the proceedings.
It does sound familiar.
And yet, that execution never took place. The convict ostensibly executed earlier that day later then re-emerged from his grave.
Convict came back to life. In the cemetery in the middle of the night, there was a witness.
However, the witness claims that a moment after he saw the convict clambering out of his grave, a gunshot rang out from over his shoulder, and the bullet pierced the professor's chest, killing him instantly. Those may have been the professor's actual last moments.
Yes. Yes.
Being as you were in charge of overseeing executions at the time, you must know the truth about what really happened. It's in your head, somewhere deep down. Have you been watching this series of Taskmaster?
No, I haven't watched in a while. I want to though. It's great, but I haven't watched much. I need to catch up.
There's a guy in there at the moment who he was talking. There's an episode where he's talking about regrets, and he's just like, "No, I just put those on a very high up shelf of my mind. I don't have access to them. They're just there." So it reminds me of this.
Yeah, just forget them, ignore them, pretend they don't real. Yeah.
I know there are memories in your head that can explain what happened on the 17th of June 10 years ago.
I think the previous line was just saying his name.
And now it's time for you to drag them up.
Mr. Vigil? Yes, the whole prison. It was complete chaos. The prisoner escaped. He was killed. In the cemetery. The shocking news ripped through Barclay like a hurricane. What? Order! Do you mean to say, Mr. Vigil, that your memories of the time have returned? My head, it's like some floodgates have been opened. The images, screams.
Oh, my goodness.
The papers. There were reports, articles about a man who'd seen a ghost. Yes, Enoch Trevor. But surely those reports were exaggerated. There were traces at the scene.
Traces of what?
In Lowgate Cemetery, at plot number 139, blood. Lots of blood. That's where the man was buried, of course. Obviously, something terrible had happened there. The depths of conspiracy and depravity from which his tale is emerging are quite staggering.
I've reviewed the police records from that time extensively. A thorough investigation was conducted by Scotland Yard to ascertain how the convict managed to escape in the first place. And the conclusion reached by the investigating team was that a member of the prison staff must have been involved.
Are you suggesting that prison warden abetted this man's bid for freedom? Yes, and I was suspected of doing it. Using that mad murderous execution as a way to help him escape. You did what? I remember now. The horror of it all is coming back to me. One evening, a few days after the execution, some detectives came to the prison. I was called to the governor's office at the top of the watchtower.
Spinning so quickly.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Daly. This is a serious business. But I can't help you, no. I'm sorry, Daly. This is a serious... I forgot he was Scottish. But I can't help you, no. As Chief Order, you were responsible for overseeing the execution of all, eh? Well, it seems the fellas at the Scotland Yard want to have a few wee words with you about it. You'd better pack your things, laddie. You're to attend in person. As soon as he told me that, my mind just went completely blank. And the next thing I knew,
Oh, jeez.
The professor... The most hated killer in our country's history. No, he who's saying it. No, I let him escape. Finished. My life is over. Ah!
Oh my gosh.
Oh God. Damn. Order! Order! Bailiff, fetch a doctor at once. Consider journey for today with immediate effect.
Blimey.
So,
Blimey.
with Mr. Vigil's collapse,
Oh,
proceedings came to an abrupt end for the day. Once again overshadowed by the legacy of that notorious killer, appearing like a cursed ghost ship on a foggy ocean. Lord Van Zeeks, Mr. Vigil, Kazuma, and Gregson. All of them bound by invisible chains anchored to the same wreckage in the murky depths of the past. But the miraculous light that had been trying to cut through the gloom and shine on those tragic events was playing on the edges of the truth at last.
To be continued.
blimey. That's very good timing.
Yeah.
The last two, I feel like we've timed very well with the
Very
endings.
perfectly, yeah.
We've known exactly how long to ramble for at the beginning.
Yeah, exactly. And even midterm ramble of taking a break. Someone, I hired that guy to knock on your door. It was a whole thing to make sure that.
Yeah. A lot of work goes into these streams.
Yeah, you guys
Lot of
just don't realize how
planning.
much we do. Yeah, it's a lot.
Oh,
Oh,
Fion's
yeah.
fallen asleep. She's got big sleepy mouth.
You can go and wake her up. As we exit this game, don't save. And I'm going to press yes. And that's it for today, everyone. That was exciting. We are getting somewhere exciting. More lawyer stuff to come next week, or
Woohoo!
maybe the next week after, because Brian and I have just been given the DLC for Escape Academy, which, if you remember the game when we did
Yes.
escape rooms together, which was really fun. So I want to play that as well. So we'll do that, but I don't want to. Ace Attorney often gets postponed because we get some other things to play, which is a bit of a shame because I really do like Ace Attorney. But it's hard.
Yeah.
We have to sometimes because if something new comes out and we want to play it, it makes sense. But
I'm also wondering what's going to happen over Yingle Yam.
yeah. I mean, surely we can sneak in like some. Maybe not during the 14 days. We might be busy then, but probably after we
Yeah.
can sneak in something. So
I guess it would be nice if we could finish this fourth case before.
yeah, I would like to have that
Yingle
finished before we
Jam.
maybe go on a little bit of a longer break.
Is
So
Carl here? Do you have any idea how much longer we have roughly if Carl is here? Carl knows everything about this game.
okay. Yeah, same question to people in my chat. If you guys have done this before, like how much is left of case 4? Can we do that in one stream or 2? Obviously, like if we don't talk for an hour at the beginning of the stream, we'll save some time, but yeah.
Because in a way, it feels like we're a lot closer to understanding, but then it also feels like we're very far away from understanding. It feels like every
Yeah.
time there's something added that I'm like, wait, what?
But I think that's probably what case 5 is going to be, right? I think this case is going to have a
True.
conclusion, but not like a full conclusion. And then case 5 is going to be the big one, I suspect.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll see. I do want to do Escape Academy, but I definitely at least 2, says to restore amends. Okay.
Okay.
What you have next is the last part of the case. Maybe if we do the next stream without a 1-hour podcast at the beginning, we could maybe go like
Yeah.
4 hours-ish, maybe? Because today we
Yes.
basically went 2.5 or just a little bit over 2. So if we go like a little bit longer than 4 hours, continue talking at the beginning of the stream. I'm planning my schedule around that. Well, I love talking to Brian at the start of my stream. So yeah.
It's like last week, because we only chatted for about half an hour. I had people coming in being like, wait,
Oh, you've
he's
already
not still
started.
talking. Why have you started the game?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know. I like our little chat at the beginning. I think that's fun. So, okay, ultimately, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out at some
Yeah.
point. Like, scheduling always sort of tends to work itself out at some point, unless it's about D&D, where scheduling never works out. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that should be it for us. So yeah, Escape Academy DLC at some point, and then we're going to continue this, and I'm sure there'll be plenty more games to come. Yeah. Check out both our streams on Friday. I guess we'll be competing. We'll be playing the same game at the same time, fighting for the same views. Guys, can you do us a favor, actually? Can you watch both our
look
streams?
at Discord a second.
Sure.
I'm sharing Buncam with you. I just
Okay.
realized I could do that.
Stream pause. Briony has minimized replication. Sit tight.
Oh wait, no. Okay, there you go.
There we go. Oh. Oh, the
Lord.
good boy. The good Lord boy.
No, that's Fifi.
Is it still Fifi? Are you kidding me?
It's
when they're
still
this-
Fifi. She
when they're
looks a
this
little
close
bit
up,
like.
Well, yeah, I feel like when this is up, like the color looks a little bit Jerry.
I
It's
can
easier to-
see Jerry
it's-
in there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is when they're further away, I see the difference between them is much easier. But when I get a full nose close up, I keep thinking it's Jerry.
I think because she looks quite fluffy at the moment because she's
Yeah.
molting, she does look a bit more Jerry-ish as well.
Yeah. Or maybe I'm just bad. Maybe it's a color thing. And that I can always blame color blindness. That's always a thing I can do.
Yeah, it's because Jerry's red and Fifi's green.
Yeah, exactly. They have very those colors that Jerry's blue and Fifi's purple, so that happens all the time. Yeah. But yeah. Yeah, so guys, please enjoy our streams. I kind of want to stream tomorrow, but honestly, knowing myself, I think it's better if I don't. It's good to have a day off, and I haven't had any stream off this week yet.
Treat yourself.
So I probably will start God of War next week. Tuesday is the plan. So I'm going to be playing Tactics Ogre on Friday, which also Kirsty's going to do, and also Briony's going to do, I think. Madness.
I think Kirsty's doing hers on Saturday, though.
Okay, well, that's good. So can you guys in chat do me and Briony a favor? Can you watch both our streams so that we both get good views for the stream? Like, this is just the best thing. This is the best thing. And also sometimes maybe if we post links, click both of our links. Because then they will go like, oh, wow, these two people are really good at sponsor streams. Let's give them more. It's
this
all
is
about
the thing
it's
as
all about
well,
results.
because like a lot of your like how much they decide to pay you will be based on your concurrent viewers.
And stuff, yeah.
If a streamer you like is doing an ad, even if it's for a game you don't like, just give them the view, and then you're helping them make more next time for free.
That's the thing, right? Yeah, like that's like some people are like, I would like to support, but I don't really have a lot of money to watch or whatever. If you just keep watching and stuff and click links and the like, you're helping. That's helpful.
Yeah.
That might lead to stuff for them in the future. So that's something to think of anyway. Obviously, realistically, watch what you want to watch. I'm just saying that if you do want to be helpful to both me and Briony, you can always just watch us both and click all our links and all that stuff. Either way, that's enough rambling for us, I think. I have a raid in 1.5 hours. We are hoping to kill a new boss for the first time. We will see how that goes. For those of you who know Final Fantasy, we have hit Enrage on P7S a bunch of times. So we are excited to kind of finally do it. Cool. Thanks for watching. We will see you when we see you next. Probably as Attorney/Escape Academy DLC next week. Otherwise, check out our own personal streams as it is during the week. Have a good time, everyone. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.
Bye-bye for now. Bye-bye.
Let us throw you somewhere real quick. Who live? I guess Kirsty's still live. She's going to be streaming as well. Nas is playing a little to the left. That's quite nice. I won't raid Ravs because he's playing God of War, and I don't want you guys to get spoiled. So Nilesy it is. Why not? We'll raid Nilesy. He's playing a nice, comfy game. So yeah, no stream tomorrow. I really do want to play God of War Ragnarok, but it's nice to have a day off during the week. So I think I won't stream tomorrow. So we're having Tactics Ogre on Friday. Then weekend off. Monday Armchair Admirals, and then we're going straight into God of War on Tuesday. And that is going to be extremely hype. I am so excited to play it. I'm gonna have to try my very best not to get spoiled in the next couple of days. But to be honest, I managed not to be spoiled for God of War for ages, and it took a long time for me to even get a PS4. So yeah. But I'm very excited. I'm gonna be playing it on my PS5. It's gonna be really fun. I got a key for it. I'm super excited. Say hi to Nilesy from me. Have a lovely time, everyone, and I will see you on Friday. Bye bye.